Republicans have this, warped perception that Google and Facebook and others are shadow banning them.
Social media is being rigged to censor conservatives. Is that true of Twitter?
No.
Twitter shadow banning prominent Republicans. Bad. Is that true?
No.
Are you censoring people?
No.
This idea of shadow banning is something that he's brought up, which is essentially this concept that Twitter would allow you to post something, but then effectively make it invisible, make it not show up in searches. Right. This has been widely debunked.
The president, by the way, has tweeted about this idea of shadow banning, saying it's not good. We're going to look into this discriminatory illegal practice. He's tweeting about other tech companies just this morning as well. But as you point out, Twitter's like, dude, not so much.
Yes. I mean, this has been debunked by Twitter. They say that this is not something that they actively engage in. There was an incident where some prominent conservatives were not showing up in search. They claim that it was a brief glitch.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
Personally like that.
How did I get personal? Bitch!
Fucking Ralph. That's December. We can talk about him now.
Yes.
From the totally real country of Australia, I bid you all good evening, good morning, or good day, as the case may be. Across these many, many time zones, this is the pre-stream. My name is Thermo, and we're here to talk about the newsy stuff from this week, from Lawtube to Lolcows, from 4chan to Forbes. We'll have a look back at some of the news in the past week and see if we can get Dave to keep his shirt on.
Don't get us nuked off of YouTube yet.
Hello.
Hey,
RC. Who was complaining about Tam?
He was. He was.
There you go, man. You got your wish. Tam's not here, man.
Fucking fired.
Hey, Costy.
Costy, you're at it already.
You're welcome, everybody. So, yes. It's been another week where Twitter dominates the fucking headlines, which is, of course, the whole fucking point.
Debunked. God.
So yes, we had the supplemental Twitter files, which was essentially Matt Taibbi pointing out that there was some fuckery going on. So apparently all the Twitter files were being filtered through a little guy called Jim Baker, who used to be FBI Deputy General Counsel. Oh. Actually, no, FBI General Counsel, not Deputy General Counsel. He became Twitter's Deputy General Counsel.
Yeah. But we already knew all this was happening, so what's new?
Yeah, this is a whole nothing burger. So we'll just go on to the next. No, it is not a nothing burger. It is only a nothing burger if you want it to be a nothing burger.
Yeah, that was the initial response I saw was,
yes.
Oh, Matt Taibbi is destroying his career by turning this all into absolutely
I think you mean
molehill.
PR for a billionaire.
Yes.
PR for the richest man in the world.
Yes, we covered that one last week.
Yes. So yes, of course, Baker's a controversial figure, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, he was fired straight away. So people have been digging through all of Twitter's current employees and discovered a disturbing number of former FBI, former CIA, spooks, glowies. Choose your
Don't even have the
term.
right uniform. Feds don't wear suits.
So currently Twitter's senior corporate security analyst is an ex FBI intelligence analyst. One of their senior directors is an ex FBI special agent of 20 years.
Color me shocked.
Another Twitter director, this time in corporate security / risk, ex FBI, 20 years. A Twitter senior manager in corporate and executive security services, ex FBI, 14 years, Secret Service, 7 years.
Wow.
I mean, technically, Rumble's guilty of this too, because Dan Bongino is.
That's exactly
Secret
right.
Service.
Yeah, ex Secret Service. So
and ex NYPD. Yep.
Well, breaking news: Dan Bongino's a Fed. Rumble is entirely a Fed op.
Well, Bongino's admittedly a Fed. At least he's open about it.
So he's the current head of corporate security. He's ex-FBI agent for 23 years. Current Twitter director of corporate resilience. Another 21-year veteran of the FBI. Senior staff technical program manager, ex-FBI, 10 years. How many fucking FBI agents do you people fucking have?
It sounds like a prerequisite to be a manager.
Like, Twitter senior corporate security manager, 23 years ex-FBI. Like,
and notice how it's all FBI. There's not a lot of CIA, NSA. It's all FBI.
Yeah, well,
that's
because the CIA, NSA people are just there. They're not actually hired by Twitter. They just camp there.
True.
Senior security manager, 22 years. Fucking corporate security manager, 25 years. And look, let's be fair. I don't begrudge people. I don't begrudge an organization for hiring, especially in a security context.
Yeah.
Someone who has worked for the FBI for an extended period of time, because it proves you know how to work inside a bureaucracy. It proves that clearly you're trusted in some way, because you fail if you fail a clearance, you're done. Your career's over in the FBI. Yeah. So these people can be trusted, in air quotes. But I mean, yeah. Look, if you were hiring a bodyguard,
such a thing as a pattern, though.
Yes, it does. It does indicate a certain predilection for Twitter to have stocked their organization with glowies. Like 15 years,
a specific kind
8
of glowy.
years, 23 years,
and looking at all their backgrounds.
Current Twitter senior manager, ex FBI and CIA intelligence analyst.
I'm curious what their LinkedIn profiles actually say about their role at the FBI. Like, obviously, they're all just.
I don't know that it'll let me read it because. No, exactly. A lot of these people fucking nuke them from orbit.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I think I technically have one, but I don't use LinkedIn.
Oh, but this is interesting. What do all these Twitter employees have in common? They were all hired since 2016.
Interesting. Take my Miranda Cosgrove sip.
So.
Interesting.
So yes, that's a good question. Why, after Trump was elected, did Twitter feel the need to hire so many FBI and senior CIA agents and place them in senior management roles?
Well, we know why.
Very, very interesting.
We know why.
So,
how best can Twitter legally act against Trump and stop him getting elected again?
Yes. Well, we want to maneuver some stuff around and suppress some speech. So we need to.
How do we do this?
We need some cover.
Yeah.
So let's just hire some FBI agents.
It starts with co and it ends with Lucian. You want to put something in between it? That's up to you.
I thought you were going to say COINTEL Pro for a moment. But...
So yes, then we got the Twitter Files Part 2, all about the secret blacklist. So we'll go through this. So yes, just zoom this in so it's a bit more legible. So yes, a new Twitter Files. So Barry Weiss did this one. The next one was about Trump, which we'll do as well. There's supposed to be one today. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll have a look for it. So yes, a new Twitter Files investigation reveals that teams of Twitter employees build blacklists, prevent disfavored tweets from trending, and actively limit the visibility of entire accounts or even trending topics, all in secret without informing users. And honestly, if you spent any time on Twitter or even on YouTube, you know this happened. You knew this happened. You knew this was happening. You absolutely knew this was happening. no matter how much Twitter said, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. Under oath, we don't do that. So Twitter once had a mission to, quote, give everyone the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. Along the way, barriers nevertheless were erected. Take, for example, Stanford's Dr. J, I'm not going to even try to pronounce that, who argued that COVID lockdowns would harm children. Twitter secretly placed him on a trends blacklist, which prevented his tweets from trending. Like, that shit is fucking pernicious. That's the most pernicious form of censorship. At least if you're outright censored. Like, at the very least, if someone says, you're not allowed on my platform anymore because I don't want you to speak here, you know you've been evicted.
Yeah.
But if it's something like that, where you'll just be yelling into the void, you won't know that no one's allowed to hear you. That's worse. There's some cruelty, I think, that goes along with that. That just is it's just really fucked. So yes, or consider the popular right-wing talk show host Dan Bongino, who at one point was slapped with a search blacklist. Yeah, I guess right there, search blacklist.
Yeah, that's the tag. Yeah.
And again, there was discussion by him of various Republicans not being able to be searched for, and Twitter played the, oh, look, yes, no, he's not coming up in search, but that's just a bug.
It's a glitch.
It's a glitch. It's a glitch. It's just a bug. It's a glitch. It's just an accident. So Twitter set the account of conservative activist Charlie Kirk to do not amplify. So I don't like Charlie Kirk, but
it's not shadow banning. It's not. They just call it something else.
No, that's exactly right. It's it has a different term.
It's called a glitch.
So Twitter denied that it does such things. In 2018, Twitter's Vijay Agadi, then head of legal policy and trust, and Kayvon Biyekpour, head of product, said, we do not shadow ban. They said, and we certainly don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints or ideology.
Lies.
What many people call shadow banning, Twitter executives and employees call visibility filtering.
Doublespeak.
VF.
Doublespeak. Let's call it what it is.
Exactly. This is fucking newspeak.
No.
Well, no, we don't shadow ban.
No. We just filter them by visibility.
Yeah.
No, it's doublespeak.
Multiple high-level sources have confirmed its meaning is essentially shadow banning.
Yeah.
Think about visibility filtering as being a way for us to suppress what people see to different levels. It's a very powerful tool.
That's called
shadow
shadow
senior
banning.
Twitter employee
That's
told us.
literally shadow
That is
banning.
literally shadow banning.
Yes.
If you are being blocked or suppressed or banned and you don't know about it, that's
why it's called shadow
banning. Yeah,
that's the
shadow
part.
means it's in the shadows.
You're effectively banned, even though you're technically allowed on the platform.
So yes, VF refers to Twitter's control over user visibility. It uses VF to block searches of individual users, to limit the scope of a particular tweet's discoverability, to block selected users' posts from ever appearing on the trending page, and from inclusion in in hashtag searches. So you could use a fucking hashtag to try to get in the conversation, and you are excluded from the conversation. Like the fucking key feature, one of the key features, one of the core features of Twitter is the fucking hashtag system, where if you add a hashtag, you'll be pulled basically in a global conversation about that hashtag topic. Like, this is fucking hell. And you know how it gets to this place. It's not an overnight thing. It's one person asks and you do it, and then you fold it for that person. So you have to fold for another person, and you fold for another person. It's like bankruptcy. So how bankruptcies happen. Slow at first, then all at once. So all of this happens without the user's knowledge. We control visibility we control visibility quite a bit, and we control the amplification of your content quite a bit. And normal people do not know how much we do. One Twitter engineer told us. 2 additional Twitter employees confirmed. The group that decides whether to limit the reach of certain users was the Strategic Response Team, Global Escalation Team, or SRT-GET. It often handled up to 200 cases a day. I just want to point out the whole strategic response team, global escalation team. That is so fucking FBI. Like, Jesus fuck.
Yeah, well, SRT, that is
Strategic response, yeah, absolutely.
But I'm saying that specific acronym is a common one in law enforcement, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
hyphenated acronyms are all over the FBI.
Oh, forget the GET, the SRT part specifically, because in Australia our SWAT is called CERT.
CERT, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
That's just where my brain saw SRT and I'm thinking, hang on, yeah, that is straight out law enforcement.
But there existed a level beyond official ticketing. Beyond the rank and file moderators following the company's policy on paper, that is the site integrity policy escalation support, also known as SIP-PES.
Sippies.
Sippies, get your sippies.
Sippy cup, yay.
Sippy cup. The secret group included head of legal, policy and trust, Vijay Gandhi, the global head of trust and safety, Yoel Roth, subsequent CEOs Jack Dorsey and Parag Agarwal, and others. This is where the biggest, most politically sensitive decisions got made. Think high follower accounts controversial. Another Twitter employee told us for these there would be no ticket or anything. Because why would you want
why would you want transparency?
Why would you want transparency? Why would you want a paper trail of any kind?
What's the point?
So one of the accounts that rose to that level of scrutiny was, surprise, surprise, Libs of TikTok. An account that was on the Trends blacklist and was designated as a, quote, do not take action on user without consulting with SIPpies. So, and there you see, do not take action on user. Trends blacklist, recent abuse strike count 2. And apparently 2 other tags. I don't know why they've got a not safe for work view. Is that in the other ones? Oh yeah, they are. So they're allowed to, they've flagged themselves as being able to see not safe for work content. So, this is interesting. So you can see the IP address they logged in as.
Mm.
So, but it looks like it's logged if you hit the button to access the IP address. So, this is, I'm not sure if this sidebar here is the user's interface into the tool, and direct messages are their direct messages. I presume it is.
Guano, interesting.
Guano means shit, doesn't it?
Mm.
It's bad
Guano,
shit.
yeah.
Oh fuck! I hope that's where they put all the crazy users.
Category
they flagged them as guano.
Testing. Ah, yeah, that's
that'd be hilarious.
That's definitely a
or just random shit.
That's totally a user interface.
Yeah. Well, yeah, batch action tool, payment spam, account compromise.
Lists, because none of that yet.
Because I know some people were like, direct messages. They can just click there and see Libs of TikTok's direct messages.
Yes, yes, they can.
They can, but I'm probably not clicking there.
No.
So the account, which Chaya Rachek began in November 2020 and now boasts over 1.4 million followers, was subjected to 6 suspensions in 2022 alone.
Mm-hmm.
Rachek says each time Rachek was blocked from posting for as long as a week. Twitter repeatedly informed Rachek that she had been suspended for violating Twitter's policy against hateful conduct. But an internal SIPpies memo from October 2020, after her 7th suspension, the committee acknowledged that quote, Libs of TikTok has not directly engaged in behavior violative of the hateful conduct policy. See here. And here we go. Site policy recommends placing Libs of TikTok in a 7-day timeout at the account level, meaning not for a specific tweet, based on the account's continued pattern of indirectly violating Twitter's hateful conduct policy by tweeting content that either leads to or intends to incite harassment against individuals and institutions. Fuck you.
She's posting the hateful comments of others, and therefore she's getting suspended for it.
No, she's posting people being fucking weirdos on TikTok, which makes them look ridiculous.
which turns them in, which leads them to incite.
Gets them harassed. But
yes,
incite harassment against institutions and individuals and institutions. But there's this little
yeah.
qualifier that support LGBT communities.
Yeah, so public schools.
Yeah.
Public
At
schools.
this time,
Legit.
site policy has not found explicit violative tweets,
Yeah.
which would result in a permanent suspension of the account. This time, like, seriously, Libs of TikTok is incredibly careful.
Oh yeah.
The fact that they're like, we still can't find anything, because it just tells you they're fucking going over that
That's
account.
because
with a
she's never
fine-tooth
actually
comb.
she herself has never said anything hateful
No,
or
yeah.
insightful, and it's she's just posting.
It's
what
usually,
other people
holy crap,
say.
this is ridiculous.
Holy crap! Here's a parent reading a pornographic book to the
Yeah.
school committee. Oh, this is going to lead to incitement or harassment against the institution
Yeah.
known as the public school, and she gets suspended for it.
Yeah. This type of enforcement action, repeated 7-day timeouts at the account level, will not lead to permanent suspension. However, should Libs of TikTok engage in any other direct tweet level violations of any site policies, we'll, what the fuck? Any site policies, we'll move forward with a permanent suspension. Assessment. Since its most recent timeout, while Libs of TikTok has not directly engaged in behavior violative of the hateful conduct policy, the user has continued to target individuals, allies, supporters of the LGBTQIA plus community for alleged misconduct. The target of at least one of these institutions cut off.
This was so hard for me to follow because most of them needed to be run through an editor at least 2 or 3 times.
But by reporting the people that she's talking about,
No, not her.
Oh,
not
sorry.
her writing. The documents that she's basically quoting.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, people, this is supposed to be your job.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Part of the deal with getting the Twitter files themselves was that it would be released first on Twitter. That was the only stipulation that Elon had. Like, here's these files, here's all this access. Do whatever you like, just do it on Twitter first.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, honestly, can anybody blame the man?
No.
Like,
Well, people have tried to, but I know what
well,
you're
of
saying.
course, they
I mean,
can-
but
they
yeah,
can blame him.
That's what he's doing what you should be doing.
Exactly. He's trying to grow the platform. Like, this is his entire thing now. I spent $44 billion on this fucking thing. People are damn well going to fucking use it. And if it means this is the place people go to expose this stuff, then yeah. So, I don't know where Tim is. I fucking feel like I'm doing a welfare check.
When I said editor, I mean I was talking about all the typos and grammatical errors.
Are there any? Most of the stumblings have been me. I need new glasses because I'm getting old. Potentially senile. The committee justified her suspensions internally by claiming her posts encouraged online harassment of, quote, hospitals and medical providers by insinuating, quote, that gender-affirming healthcare is equivalent to child abuse or grooming, end quote.
Well, it is.
Compare this to what happened when Rachel herself was doxxed on the 21st of November, 2020, to a photo of her home. Sorry, 2022, yeah. No, that must be 2021.
Yeah, that's a typo.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Because that's when she was.
Because that was last year. She was
finally doxxed. And
doxxed, when everybody's favorite Taylor showed up to her front door.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, a photo of her home with her address was posted in a tweet that has garnered more than 10,000 likes. I'm surprised it's only 10,000.
I bet it's more.
Wasn't it that senior citizen Taylor Lorenz?
Yes,
went to her house?
It was Taylor Lorenz. It was hang on, let me I do have the damn it, I need more. Damn you, Restream, I need more fucking clips. I wish they'd let me upload, like, they're like, oh yeah, you can have 10 clips of 300 meg each. Well, just fucking let me have 300 meg of clips or fucking a gig of clips. Don't fucking. Oh, never mind. I can't fucking dig it out fast enough. Anyway. So yes, when Rachel told Twitter that her address had been disseminated, she says Twitter support responded with this message. Hey, thanks for reaching out. We've reviewed the reported content and didn't find it in violation of the Twitter rules.
Yep.
In this case, no action will be taken at this time. If you have further concerns about intellectual property, your privacy, or personal safety, the following guidance can be of assistance.
The following guidance meaning fuck off.
No action was taken. The doxing tweet is still up. Yeah, no shit. In internal Slack messages, Twitter employees spoke of using technicalities to restrict the visibility of tweets and subjects. Here, Yoel Roth, Twitter's then global head of trust and safety, in a direct message to a colleague in early 2021. Yoel Roth. A lot of times, SI has used technicality spam enforcement as a way to solve problems. SI is site integrity. As a way to solve a problem created by safety under enforcing their policies, which again isn't a problem per se, but it keeps us from addressing the root cause of the issue, which is that our safety policies need some attention. So essentially using the spam site integrity facility that's designed to protect the site from spam and scams to fill a hole in their policies.
Algorithm.
Like fucking pricks, man. 6 days later, in a direct message with an employee on the Health Misinformation, Privacy and Identity Research team, Roth requested more research to support expanding, quote, non-removable policy interventions like disabling engagements and de-amplifying / visibility filtering. One of the big areas I'd love research support is non-removable policy interventions like disabling engagements and de-amplification / visibility filtering. The hypothesis underlying much of what we've implemented is that if exposure to, e.g. misinformation, directly causes harm, we should use remediations that reduce exposure. And limiting the spread / virality of content is a good way to do that. By just reducing prevalence overall. We got Jack on board with implementing this for civic integrity in the near term. So this will be the you can't retweet this tweet, you can't reply to this tweet, you can only quote tweet this tweet, and it'll be deboosted. There are a bunch of those leading up to 2020. We're going to need to make a more robust case to get this into our repertoire of policy remediations, especially for other policy domains. So I'd love researchers' point of view on that. I just want to point out, Twitter was, at the time Musk took over, spending something like $800 million a year on research.
What do they
R&D.
need to research?
And it's not research like,
how do we improve the platform and make
General
efficient?
Motors does research, or
what
fucking
do the people
NASA
want?
does research.
Yeah.
This is sociology research. This is shit that Yoel Roth does. Like, the guy's a PhD in journalism and writing or something. Like, it's that kind of research. Like, fucking talk about flushing good money down the toilet.
How do we use the platform to control what people do?
Yes, how do we use the platform and manipulate our rules to be able to manipulate people and thoughts? Like,
The exact opposite of what Twitter was meant to be.
the hypothesis underlining much of what we've implemented is that... she's just repeating what I just read. There's more to come in this story, which was reported by Abigail Schreier, Michael Schellenberger, Nellie Bowles, who is Barry Weiss's wife, I guess, and Isaac Grafenstein over at the Free Press. The authors have broad and expanding access to Twitter's files. The only condition that we agreed to was that the material would be first published on Twitter. So all these people fucking screaming about how, what kind of horrible conditions did Elon Musk put? Like, I bet you're filtering it. Yeah, no, the only condition was that they had to publish on Twitter, which is why they're doing it this way.
Mm-hmm.
We're just getting started on our reporting. Documents cannot tell the whole story here. Big thank you to everyone who's spoken to us so far. If you're a current or former Twitter employee, we would love to hear from you.
And this is only part 2. There's 2 more parts so far. There's 2 more completely separate.
Yeah, I'm just going to check. Michael
takes on
Schellenberg was supposed to do it today. Yes, Twitter Files Part 4.
Yep.
So we'll go back to that, because the next part is... So there was this, which was Andy No digging through the names. So this is one of the head of their strategic response team, was an ex-CIA and FBI agent who quickly deleted his Twitter profile.
Former Marine.
So yes, former intelligence officer transitioned to managing high-profile content moderation and customer support escalations in social media / trust and safety. Head of Twitter's strategic response team. US Naval Academy graduate with 14 years in the Marine Corps, leading XFN intelligence teams in data analysis, strategy development, and operational planning. Team builder and problem solver in a dynamic, high-pressure, resource-scarce environments from the southern Philippines to Iraq to the Korean Peninsula. Proven manager of managers, expert communicator whose briefings and writings drove cabinet and White House level decision-making during special assignments to the CIA and FBI. Innovative and technically savvy in integrating dozens of complex hardware and software solutions into operations. Southern California native, surfaced since age 9, passionate father and husband.
That explains it. SoCal.
Yeah. Core competencies, Project Plus, program management, leader. Yep. Kids, go and do a fucking Prince 2 course. Don't worry about fucking college. Go and learn how to project manage.
XFN, cross-functional. Okay.
Yeah, cross-function collaboration.
Gotcha. Damn acronyms.
So, leadership, trust and safety environment, content moderation, customer support, data analysis, XFN collaboration, communications, executive engagement, analytical reasoning. So yes, this guy's...
But why isn't it not in crayon?
No, he went to the Navy Academy. So technically he's Navy.
United States.
He's a naval officer. Only the grunts use the crayons.
United States Naval Academy.
So yes, this is... I think that this wasn't called part 3, but I guess it is.
Basically, yes. Yeah.
So this one deals exclusively with the lead up to Trump's banning, blocking, whatever fucking euphemism they want to call it. Sorry, let me just open my beer.
Uh-oh. He's getting started.
That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have 3 beers left in the house till payday.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the world knows much of the story about what happened between riots at the Capitol. See how he refers to them as riots, because that's what they were. Not a brutal insurrection. So yes, between riots at the Capitol on January 6th and the removal of President Donald Trump from Twitter on January 8th. Actually, very propos. I was in a tweet thread this morning reading, and some guy asserted without evidence that there were guns at like everybody was armed during the insurrection, and someone was like, one of the person in the replies was like, "Oh, well, do you have evidence of that? Like, I've not seen anything." Proceeded to post pictures from Google about, like, they typed insurrection and up came photos, and sure enough, there were people with assault rifles, and I thought, that's strange. And then I looked at the building in the background, and I thought, that looks like a courthouse. That looks like a building with, like, deco columns.
Was it from?
That's strange.
Was it
from fucking Michigan?
Close enough.
It was from fucking Michigan. Back in November, like just after the election. Like, actually, no, it wasn't even from after the election. It was from fucking during COVID. It was one of the anti-lockdown protests. Mm-hmm. And it's like, fucking hell. Because the news used these pictures, Google went, oh, okay, they're related to these stories, and indexed them under the insurrection. And people are getting these fucking ideas because they search and see this stuff, and it's just...
Because they don't know how to do it.
Well, they don't
they
don't go, well, hang on a minute, I didn't see that at the time. They don't question it. They don't question it at all.
There was rumors, there was allegations that weapons were being supplied there by other members or rioters. But when it came down to it, I think there was like a handful of insurrectionists that had weapons, but they were small, extremely small arm
PDWs,
defensive handguns mostly.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I thought there were reports of people having weapons confiscated during the arrests, but it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't see
like
people,
knives.
I didn't see people openly carrying firearms around.
Yeah, there was. I saw no open carry.
No.
So, anyway,
It wouldn't surprise me if people
very sidetracked there. But we'll be like speaking of mainstream media, we'll be watching this later.
Why do I know that guy on the bottom left? Why do I know that face?
That's Malcolm Gladwell.
That's right.
So, where was I? So yes, the world knows much about the story of what happened. So we did that one, yep. So we'll show you what hasn't been revealed: the erosion of standards within the company in the months before January 6th, decisions by high-ranking executives to violate their own policies, and more, against the backdrop of ongoing documented interactions with federal agencies. Dun, dun, dun. The first installment covers the period before the election through January 6th. Tomorrow, Michael Schellenberg will detail the chaos inside Twitter on January 7th. On Sunday, Barry Weiss will reveal the secret internal communications from the key dates of January 8th. Say what you will about this drip feed. Say what you will about this drip feeding on Twitter. Fucking build suspense. Like, it works. Like, these like the engagement on these fucking threads is through the fucking roof. Like, insane. Like, Matt Taibbi's fucking follow account exploded. Like, he's at 1.5 million followers now. And I mean, someone wants to jump on Social Blade and see what the growth was. But yes, whatever your opinion on the decision to remove Trump that day, the internal communications at Twitter between January 6th and January 8th have clear historic import. Even Twitter's employees understood the moment it was a landmark moment in the annals of speech. This person said, "Is this the first sitting head of state to ever be suspended?" Yes, it is. The irony of doing that to a country that has the First Amendment, and not doing that to, the Ayatollah Khomeini is not lost. Should not be lost on anybody. Or, all the fucking Chinese words hard. All the Chinese diplomats who push Chinese propaganda. They're all perfectly fine. As soon as they finished banning Trump, Twitter executives started processing new power. They prepared to ban future presidents and White Houses, perhaps even Joe Biden. The new administration, says one exec, will not be suspended by Twitter unless absolutely necessary. I wonder what the new administration has different. Beyond me. It's clear if another account is being used for the purpose of evading a ban, it's also subject to suspension. For government accounts such as POTUS and White House, we will not suspend those accounts, but will take action to limit their use. However, these accounts will be transitioned over to the new administration in due course and will not be suspended by Twitter unless absolutely necessary to alleviate real-world harm. So if World War III starts, expect their Twitter accounts to be banned. Because, real-world harm. Twitter executives removed Trump in part of what one executive calls the context surrounding actions by Trump and supporters, quote, over the course of the election and frankly the last 4+ years, end quote. In the end, they looked at a broad picture, but that approach can cut both ways.
Oh.
Oh!
Do we have a clip for Tim?
I don't have a clip for Tim. Hang on, maybe I do.
Should we figure something out?
Without it.
Yeah,
Tim, man, we were gonna.
You're awake. Holy shit.
We were getting worried. We were gonna do a welfare check.
Tim, why
we should still be worried.
Tim, why is your screen black instead of showing an avatar? You have your camera on.
Please tell me you have pants on.
That's gonna be a big thing. Don't pull a Vic, please.
I hope it's not a big. It's probably not a big thing. You can't come back if we can't hear you, Tim. We'll just shit on you. So yes, hi Vijaya. I'm working with blank on my team to put together a doc to share with you and with a POV from research. Of course, all that fucking expensive research department. Ours, academics with whom we've been working, etc., on Donald J. Trump's language as coded incitement to further violence. This always bugs me.
Coded language. Fuck
Trump's a
off.
fool. Trump's an idiot. Trump can barely string a sentence together. He's secretly having coded communications with his supporters. Like, take your fucking pick, people. Either he's a fucking megalomaniac genius, or he's a dotard. Like, you can't be both. In the meantime, here's our quick take. The decision on whether to pull that particular tweet or to use that as a last straw for Trump depends on many factors, including 1, the overall context and narrative in which that tweet lives. We currently analyze tweets and consider them at a tweet by tweet basis, which does not appropriately take into account the context surrounding. God. You can use the yelling fire in a crowded theater example. Jesus. Context matters, and the narrative that Trump and his friends have pursued over the course of this election, and frankly the last 4+ years, must be taken into account when interpreting and analysing that tweet. The larger question is around our moral imperative and the decision as a company which user sentiment should not drive based on number 1. Blank and I believe that his tweet does violate our rules when taking that historical context plus current climate into account. It's just fucking... These people take themselves so fucking seriously. You're a social media company where people post pictures of their tits. Like, so Dave, what's the growth over the last 2 weeks for Toby's account?
Between
No, we can't hear you, Tim.
Between the 27th of last month and this one, it's only like 100 here, 100 there, but then like 239,000 on the second, and then another 313,000 on the next day, and it's just been just still going.
So yes, the bulk of the internal debate leading to Trump's ban took place in those 3 January days. However, the intellectual framework was laid in the months preceding the Capitol riots. Before January 6th... that looks better.
Hello?
Tim. There we go.
Hello. Okay, good. I knew Dave couldn't withstand what I was doing to him just a minute ago, and he just, so clearly I was unheard. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm trying to be good today. Please tell me if my mic is really awful, fucking terrible, awful.
You
fucking
sound
please
fucking
tell me.
Crisp, man.
Yeah,
So,
you sound fine.
Fucking crisp.
Ever since you bought your new microphone and your
I got yelled at about it yesterday or last week, but I was being intentionally obnoxious last week.
I know. Yeah, I know when you're being
that.
intentionally obnoxious. Oh, it's fine. I've got a volume control. I can just do this.
There you go. Fuck yes. Just delete me.
Oh no, I leave you there. Because that's far more cruel. It's what Twitter does. Makes you think you're able to say something. Before January 6th, Twitter was a unique mix of automated rules-based enforcement and more subjective moderation by senior executives. As Barry Weiss reported, the firm had a vast array of tools for manipulating visibility, most of all which were thrown at Trump and others pre-January 6th. As the election approached, senior executives, perhaps under pressure from federal agencies, with whom they met more as time progressed, increasingly struggled with rules and began to speak of VIOs as pretext to what they'd likely have done anyway. I don't know what VIOs means.
Who? VIOs? No, I've never heard of that in my life.
The VIOs, it's a virtual input-output system or something like that.
Well, I guess I've never heard of anybody on the right speak that word ever.
So increasingly struggling with the rules and began to speak of it. This is internal people, though, speaking of
okay.
As a pretext to do what they do.
It's basically a bot.
Okay, yeah.
It's basically a bot.
Understand.
Interesting.
I understand now. Okay.
After January 6th, internal Slacks showed Twitter executives getting a kick out of intensified relationships with federal agencies. Here's Trust and Safety's head Yul Roth lamenting the lack of, quote, generic enough calendar descriptions to conceal his, quote, very interesting meeting partners. Yoel Roth, it happens. I'm a big believer in transparency, but I've reached a certain point where my meetings became very interesting to people, and they weren't meeting names generic enough. Anyway, let me know. This person's replied, very boring business meeting that is definitely not about Trump. Yoel Roth replies, pretty much. Definitely not meeting with the FBI, I swear.
Oh, definitely.
LMAO. These initial reports are based... Sorry?
No, is that how you pronounce the name? Yule?
Yoel?
Yole.
Yeah, like Noel, but with a Y.
I was hoping it was going to be like a Christmas thing.
Or
Yeah.
you could say UL.
You could say Noel or Yoel. Yoel Roth.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yoel. You
You
can't censor people anymore. Until you get home
Did he
on
get fired?
Facebook. Yeah, he doesn't work. He resigned. Remember, he resigned in a flourish.
No, I
and then
don't.
had his op-ed in the was it Washington? No, it was New York Times. It's always New York Times. Oh, we have
hello,
Farron. Welcome.
Farron,
Hang on,
hello.
Oh, hi. How's it going, guys?
Oh, there's a bumper.
Speak of the devil.
Is there a bumper?
I was about ready
Play
to
a bumper.
I'll use Elb's intro. I'll use Elb's intro instead.
Yeah, there you go. Good enough.
Personal attack or something? Or...
Gotta love the internet.
Oh, the internet's an amazing place, isn't it? How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Oh,
good.
Wonderful.
Doing okay.
Just barely alive.
So about these Twitter drops, huh?
Yeah. So we're just going through the third one, I guess.
Continue. I do not want to mess up any flow that you had going.
Oh, I have
Keep
no
going.
flow.
That's what she said.
You know how we work by now. It's just like
This is a tornado. This is a wild fucking tornado.
Yeah.
Unlassoable.
These initial reports are based on searches for docs linked to prominent executives whose names are already public. They include Roth, former policy trust and policy chief Vijaya Gandhi, and recently plank-walked deputy counsel and former top FBI lawyer Jim Baker.
Am I the only one who thinks Vijaya's pretty hot? Am I the only one?
Vijaya?
She is a pretty
She's
girl.
an attractive woman.
She's not that bad.
God, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, the thirst. Sometimes even I can't.
Is there an
set it
offensive
back
term?
sometimes.
Is there an offensive term for being like attracted to exclusively Indian women?
They know it in India.
Because
we don't know
like
it
black
here.
women, it's jungle fever. Like Asian women, it's yellow fever. Like
Brown
that kind
fever
of deal. Is there a
brown fever doesn't really work, does it?
maybe?
Brown sugar.
Curry
You like that
fever?
brown
Curry
sugar,
fever?
right?
Hindi Bindi.
Oh, that's not.
Farron's immediately regretting joining.
Yeah, she looks
Not at all.
uncomfortable.
Not at
I
all.
thought the insult. I thought
at
the
all.
insult used was curry muncher. That we use
That's
against
I
them.
do
insult,
That's
yeah.
the insult you use against them.
Anyway,
But-
I
moving
don't think that's good. though.
Yeah, I'm sure we can figure one out.
We'll get a bigger one. We'll get a better
Yeah,
one.
curry fever.
That's
better.
not good enough.
I like curry fever. Yeah.
One particular Slack channel offers a unique window into the evolving thinking of top officials in late 2020 and early 2021. On October 8th, 2020, executives opened a channel called US 2020_XFN_enforcement. Through J6, this would be the home of discussions about election-related removals, especially ones that involve high-profile accounts, often called VITs, or very important tweeters. Fuck, that is
Bits.
cringe.
Yep.
Hi, everyone. Starting tomorrow until
love it.
November 15th, this channel will be used for the following reasons related to the US 2020 elections. Trends identified that require scaled investigations, high-profile account escalations that potentially require PII soft interventions, scalable solutions required, edge cases for XFN consultation, high-tech issues, bugs, tools, outages, JIRA tickets. This is an enforcement channel between Trust and Safety and TWS. What the hell's TWS? Anyway, to help speed up the response related to election issues over the coming few weeks, Git will start providing a handover, blah,
God, there's
blah,
so many
blah.
acronyms.
Yeah.
We were just talking
And
about
again,
that.
it's because of all the
just don't
FBI.
even-
Yeah.
It
This
gives
is
them
leftist speak.
deniability.
Like, I don't understand it.
It's not leftist
It
speak.
gives-
It's FBI speak.
It's Fed speak,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fed
It's
speak.
corporate
Fed
speak.
Well,
Yeah,
and,
you're
and
right,
it was
yeah.
so funny because I was looking up the term VIOS, because they use the term bios.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was. What
lot.
is it?
And I looked it up, like the definition, and I'm like, what is this? It's violations. That's what it's.
Oh,
that's
bios.
Right. But they use these terms. So it's
God,
like, yeah.
nerds.
Like,
Fucking
and
nerds.
Part of me thinks that they use these terms. So like the FBI honestly doesn't know what they're talking about. Or the FBI doesn't know what they're talking about.
Like unsub.
But there's just exactly right. Like there's certain things that you learn. But again, like somebody was making fun, like, you know, that I looked up the definition of bios because I'm like, what does bios mean? And it's their lingo that they use. They have this like little inside language that they use, which all the more makes it real. You realize like this was such an inside operation. Like I said, like between the big four, you had Jack Dorsey, Paraj Agrawal, Yoel Roth, and then Jim Baker are the big four that kind of Vijaya Gotti. I'm sorry, Vijaya Gotti.
Yeah.
Vijaya Gotti is above Jim Baker, actually.
Yeah.
So it's the big four, as I've dubbed them, and they have their own little lingo that they use with each other. And the craziest part is you go through it more and more and more, you realize how much implications there are against Yoel Roth and how Vijaya's job really is to kind of back him up. You know, like it's almost like Vijaya is his lawyer, if that makes sense. You know,
Yeah. Well, that's her trade.
She's providing
She's a
support
lawyer,
as she should.
right? But it's all based on Yoel Roth's decision.
Yeah. There was at least some tension between safety operations, a larger department whose staffers used a more rules-based process for addressing issues like porn, scams, and threats, and a smaller, more powerful cadre of senior policy execs like Roth and Gotti. The latter group were a high-speed Supreme Court of moderation, issuing content rulings on the fly, often in minutes and based on guesses, gut calls, even Google searches, even in cases involving the president.
I love this.
Trump tweets breaking 50,000 Ohio ballot voters getting wrong absentee ballots. And this person says a rigged election would be enough to be in violation, right? And Yoel replies, if the claims,
is this the Slack channel or is this?
This is
like
in their
just
Slack. This is a
tweets?
Slack. This is.
Oh,
Slack
okay,
right
okay.
now. Yeah. So Yoel Roth says, if the claims of fact were inaccurate, yes. Yoel replies, it looks like it's true. So just Googled it. So it's like, no, we can't action that because it's true.
But he must have actioned it. Like, did he not? Like, he must have.
No.
He must have done something. Shadow ban or some shit.
I'm sure that I don't remember this tweet at the time. It might have had a misinformation thing on it, but
I was only 33 years old when this happened.
Just
a babe in the woods.
Ago.
I can still remember. God, can we do some? Is that illegal?
What? Can we do some karaoke?
No,
Farron does
yes.
karaoke.
We need to have some. What the fuck is his name?
Some what?
I have no idea.
Don McLean. Let's do some Don McLean.
American
Let's
Pie.
fucking do it.
American
Let's do Castles in the Air. Nobody knows that. It's great.
During this time, executives were also clearly liaising with federal enforcement and intelligence agencies about moderation of election-related content. While we're still at the start of reviewing the Twitter files, we're finding out more about these interactions every day. Policy Director Nick Pickles, fucking fantastic name. He's asked if they should say Twitter detects...
That's giving me
Nick Pickles?
Rugrats flashbacks now.
Asked if they should say Twitter detects misinfo through machine learning, human review, and partnerships with outside experts. The employee asks, I know that's been a slippery process. Not sure if you want our public explanation to hang on that. So, and Pickles, are you comfortable with the marketing talking about misinfo by saying that we detect it through machine learning, human review, and partnerships with outside experts? I know it's been a
What are the stars
process.
for? Yeah,
Quotes,
that's a
extra
trustworthy
quotes.
face. Look at his face. That's trustworthy.
Can we just say partnerships? E.g., not sure we'd describe the FBI, DHS as experts.
When your shoulders are less than 1/3 of your fucking head, you're a trustworthy person.
Or some NGOs that aren't academic. So. Yeah, so Pickles asked if they could just say partnerships. After a pause, he says, e.g., not sure if we describe the DHS and FBI as experts. This post about Hunter Biden laptop situation shows that Roth not only met weekly with the FBI and DHS, but with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. So, just to put that in perspective,
it's worse than we thought.
The heads of the FBI and the DHS and every other intelligence organization all report to the Director of National Intelligence.
Yep. To the Twitter director. Yeah.
Was meeting with, Twitter's head of trust and safety. So, Yol has checked in. Here's what they say. What's new since you last checked in? Hacked materials exploded. We blocked the New York Post story. Then we unblocked it, but said the opposite. Then said we'd unblock it.
I love this. I'm so fucking happy.
And now we're in a messy situation where our policy is in shambles. Comms is angry. Reporters think we're idiots, and we're refactoring an exceedingly complex policy. 18 days out from the election. In short, fuck my life. Weekly sync with FBI, DHS, DNI, re-election security. The meeting happened about 15 minutes after the aforementioned hack materials implosion. The government declined to share anything useful when asked. Monthly meetings with FBI, FITF? FITF. What the fuck is that? I feel like I know that acronym.
I don't.
FITF. Yeah, a lot of these you don't know.
I want to say something very briefly because I know I'm going to be drunk and I'm going to be drunk, annoying asshole. But imagine the shit that they buried before we understood what was happening. Like all that shit, the very first thing, like Elon Musk is buying Twitter, and then how everything got really weird. Imagine all the shit that got fucking dumped at that time. There was
a lot of talk at the time that's what was happening.
This is the shit they found acceptable. Like, this is what's okay to let out. Like, imagine everything that got fucking buried.
Again, mind you, though, it was Jim Baker that decided what was going to get let out in this first draft of this. Okay, yeah. But that was my rant last night, where they thought that we were just so dumb, where we could not figure out what's left, what's right, up from down, so they were going to decide for us. And that's the saddest part of it all, is that here's this country
for us dummies.
Yeah, and it's this country of free speech, democracy, free thought. Nothing of the sort. Nothing.
Yep. Roth's report to the FBI, DHS, DNI. I just want to reiterate that him reporting to the DNI is insane.
And the fact that the Department of Homeland Security, which deals with border issues.
No, my issue is the DNI my DNI is responsible for all those organizations. Every single intelligence organization in the US, the heads of those departments report to the Director of National Intelligence. And Yoel Roth is just meeting with him weekly.
Dexterous nipple industry.
But the Department of Homeland Security does not report to the DNI. I mean, unless they're subpoenaed.
No, all the
they all report
to
the
DNI.
It's not like that's not fucking lies.
Right. Yeah, let's be serious.
The umbrella, the tip of the umbrella is the DNI. He or she collates. Her department collates all the intelligence.
They got like 3 people.
How in the hell though does Twitter have any
direct
kind
access?
To the
security clearance?
And again, like when you're seeing FBI, DHS, DNI, those are very, very high level firms, folks. And you have to ask yourself, well, who do they have below that? You're talking about the EPA, the FDA, all of these other medical practices and all these other medical groups during COVID. I mean, if this is the upper echelon that they have access to, that means everybody below them, that's a piece of cake.
So the DNI has, sorry, I was sidetracked, but I'm just Wikipediaing things because I'm a layman, but it says all intelligence community agencies report to the DNI. So that's the CIA.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the CIA. That's the NSA.
The FBI.
The entire intelligence community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All 14
Department
intelligence agencies.
Yep.
All report to the DNI.
Yeah.
Yep. Military intelligence, Marine Corps intelligence,
Yep.
CIA, NSA.
Yeah. It's a very, very important position.
Clearly.
And again, if they have access to the top level agency, then they can easily sway every agency below them. Easily.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
You get if you're a functionary in one of the other departments and the DNI calls you,
Yep.
you're probably going to do what you're told.
Yeah.
It's like when
you
Daddy
come
Thermo
out on
says,
Twitter-
"Take off your shirt," and then Dave just takes it off.
You come out against the EPA on Twitter, they can silence you. You come out against, the IRS on Twitter, they can silence you. You come out against, any other faction of the government and bring out, let's say, there were reports, multiple reports by people talking about the rigged IRS system and how, the IRS was stockpiling guns and ammo. And notice how those accounts, that's the other part of this stuff, which I hope they go into when they talk about the IRS, is that people.
One thing that's more sinister is these other departments tell them what should be broadcasted and should be boosted for their benefit for purposeful disinformation and counterintelligence.
But don't worry, guys. This does not constitute as election interference whatsoever.
No, not at all.
Could be.
No, that would be.
Yeah, there's a reason all the telephone companies were like nationalized back in the old days. It's weird.
Yep.
You're a common carrier.
And a reason why they were all included. A reason why they were all included within the Patriot Act, but nobody knew about it.
Shame they didn't turn it on.
Thanks,
So
Reagan, for establishing the Office of the National Director of Intelligence.
Yes.
Or whatever.
So some of Ross' latest slacks indicate his weekly conflabs with federal law enforcement involve separate meetings. Here he ghosts the FBI and DHS respectively to go do first an Aspen Institute thing and then take a call from Apple.
I don't believe that.
Hey, I have to
Who's
miss
the
FBI.
Aspen
This
Institute
Patrick
people?
Conlon
Show
is a
me.
little fuck. Wait till you read his messages. He's a little
How tall
fuck.
is he? Is he a manlet?
I don't even
looks like a
know.
man.
He's
There's a lot of
definitely
space in the
below
top
6
of that
foot.
frame there.
It's
Well, that's not
So
fair.
maybe.
So the Aspen
I'm gonna have to
Institute
look
is a
into
communist
this. Who's
think
this man?
tank, isn't it? It's a socialist communist think tank, globalist think tank.
So he blew up the
no,
meeting
he's-
for...
The Aspen Institute.
He's one of the guys. Okay, so there's Yoel Roth, who is like the ultimate arbiter of who is going to get, flagged and what is their implications that they're going to get on their profile. Patrick is one of the guys that's a step below him. You can see within these tweets, and Patrick is like, there's even a tweet or in this like little. It's not Discord, but it's the Slack. Slack is like Discord for a business.
Yeah.
For those that
weirdos.
don't know.
Yeah.
And
Wait, never mind. Does make sense.
Patrick, you can see is like, thank God I'm so analytical because, and I don't have any emotion because blah, 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 blah. But Patrick is one of the people that is going through Twitter and flagging or deplatforming people. And then he has to get the okay by Yoel Roth. Like, it's like Yoel Roth, then Vijaya Gotti okays it, and then they let Jack Dorsey know. That's kind of like the level of hierarchy here.
I could fix her. I'm pretty sure.
But yes, apparently
Yeah.
the meeting that he had, the two very important meetings he had was an Aspen Institute thing this morning on vaccines that I have to be present at, and a call with Apple to avoid us getting kicked out of the App Store.
Oh shit! Twitter wasn't a threat. I don't
Yeah.
believe that. That's weird.
Well,
Yep.
Oh, you mean like with Musk or like before that?
before that, long before that. This is
Oh, I don't. Oh,
This
that
is
was just.
20
Yeah,
that
this
I feel
is
like
this is
it's empty.
2020.
yeah. So here the FBI sends a report about a pair of tweets. The second of which involves a former Tippecanoe County.
Tippecanoe.
Tippecanoe.
Yeah, got it. Yay.
Yeah.
Indiana councillor.
It's exactly
what
you thought it was.
John Basham, claiming between 2 and 25% of ballots by mail are being rejected for errors.
Which those that don't
Weird.
know Tippecanoe County, that is where Purdue University, where I graduated from. It's that county. That's why I knew it very well.
Baldo, I have a Shaw
Is that a brag?
SM,
I feel like it should be.
MV7.
Hey, Baldo.
Yes, Tim's right. We both have.
I'm going
Shaw
to hell.
MV7s.
I'm going directly to hell.
So yes, here we just got a report from the FBI concerning
Save me a
two
juice
tweets.
box, Tom.
One
Sure.
related to the shredding
the
of
door
mailing
open.
ballots. This is proven to be false via this PolitiFact post. Do you have a moment?
PolitiFact.
Ready on this one?
The
So they're
arbiter
using
of truth.
PolitiFact
PolitiFact.
fact checks the fucking
Right.
Jesus Christ.
If there's anything I bet my life on, it'd be PolitiFact.
The FBI's second report concerned this tweet by John Basham. Democrats in complete panic as their massive push for vote by mail is backfiring on them. Two things are unfolding: an unexpected number
Yeah,
of
it
registered
didn't, though.
Republicans returning ballots. This is in 2022, yeah. So
Worked great for him.
the FBI flag tweet then got circulated in the enforcement Slack. Twitter cited PolitiFact to say the first story was proven to be false, then noted the second was already deemed no bios on numerous occasions.
Right. So again, there's
They've said
that
no
first bio.
violations, yeah.
Yeah. Again, like the idiot like me, where I was like,
The group decided to apply a "learn how voting is safe and secure" label because one commenter says it's totally normal to have a 2% error rate. Then Roth gives the final go-ahead to the process initiated by the FBI. Examining the entire election enforcement Slack, we didn't see one reference to moderation requests from the Trump campaign, the Trump White House, or Republicans generally. We looked. They may exist. We were told they do. However, they were absent here. I don't know why it jumps from 27 to 32, but okay.
he sometimes
You can't-
does
you-
that.
you-
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see the other
Loses
five.
his place. Fuck it. This inspires a long Slack that reads like a Titiana McGrath parody. I agree it's a joke, concedes to an employee, but, quote, he's also literally admitting in a tweet to a crime. This was the Mike Huckabee one. Yeah, never mind. So, I don't know why that's all deleted and broken. Jesus, Elon, fix your fucking platform. Could still mislead people if people have no fucking humour. Roth suggests moderation even in this absurd case could depend on whether or not the joke results in confusion. Docs execs often expand criteria to subjective issues like intent.
Oh, God.
Fucking hell. This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Another example, Twitter employees prepare to slap a mail-in voting is safe warning label on a Trump tweet about a postal screw-up in Ohio
it's really fucking
before
safe.
realizing the event took place, which means the tweet was factually accurate. This is exactly why you do not ever want to be in a position to have to decide what's true and what's not. Because this will happen. You will
Yes,
think it's
exactly.
false.
But they have
and
the
put yourself
opportunity,
out of
though,
that
to
position.
not be a publisher by Section
Yes.
302 in the United States Constitution.
No,
However,
it's the
they
Communications
took
Act.
it upon themselves to be a publisher at this point.
Yeah. The problem is Section 203 doesn't include a definition of what is a publisher and what is a platform.
See, all Congress needs to do is go and say,
that's where the New York Post is
They just need to say
actually
it's common
going
carrier.
to. Well,
All they
the
need
New
to
York
do.
Post is now filing a lawsuit against them because if you actually are going to silence a news publication, you then officially have declared yourself a publisher.
Yeah, look, to my mind, if you're a platform that makes editorial decisions about what content appears and doesn't appear beyond the good faith, because there's a good faith section, the law literally says organizations that make a good faith effort of moderation. If you're making it based on things that aren't illegal, that's not a good faith moderation. You're not acting in good faith. You're acting in a partisan manner.
Is that who the white noise is coming from? It's you, Thermo.
Is it?
Apparently.
By the way, hats off to you Australians that know this stuff because, I mean, shit. Most Americans don't even know this stuff.
We're just autistic.
We kind of been over this.
We're just full of shit on the
Like these two know more about America than any of us ever will. It's like, holy shit, what are you even talking about?
And honestly, I mean, I will say, like, when I meet a lot of Australians that work at the American embassies,
Right,
here,
they're really gay. It's weird.
Yeah, that like they know more about our
Victoria.
Constitution than most Americans, and I'm like, wow, like that's insane, But
That was
like,
such a good
but yeah,
time.
like that's one of those things though, like where again, like
No.
this Section 230 is constantly used by these social media companies to CYA, cover their asses.
Yep.
And at this point though, when they actually the white noise is gone.
Was gone.
Or it was for a second. But when it's gone.
Okay, so it is me.
Yeah, it is you.
It's
yeah.
back.
Just blame it on
Yeah,
me.
when he's
Just
on- yeah.
say I did it. Like I want to be the bad guy.
I wanted
Just
to blame
say
you,
it was
Tim,
me.
but it's been there since before you joined. So
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but just blame me anyway. I want to
fucking
be
hell,
the heel
Tim. What the
now.
hell are you doing? It's your fucking fault. There you go.
Yes,
I
yes,
blamed-
it's
I
me.
blamed
I'm a
you.
horrible
There you
monster.
go.
Please
But
let
again-
me die in a fire.
Yeah, we're pretty nutty.
Really quick though, the social media companies have been using this to their advantage. Here it's gone. They've been using it to their advantage. However,
Now there's a lot of weight on you.
When you silence one of the
Gotta make a good
oldest
point.
newspapers in the country that was founded by a founding father, Alexander fucking Hamilton,
Oh, I
they
thought it
founded
was
the New York
Jefferson.
Post, which was the TMZ back in the day of newspapers. That's where people are going to have problems, and that's where you lose your credibility, and that's where you go against Section 230 because you've now silenced a news organization. And so
I
I
kinda
feel
wanna
like
see-
Elon is trying to circumvent that lawsuit from happening by unloading and unleashing all of this stuff that's been happening strictly to avoid lawsuits, because he could literally have so many class action lawsuits against him. Like he even said, and I've even said too, he didn't inherit a company, he inherited a crime scene.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah. You know?
I'm just gonna say I want to see some 1700s like paparazzi TMZ bikini pictures. It's like I want to see that. Let's do that. Let's get in there.
1700s.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Well, they're going to be all in like bustiers.
Let's get
and
weird
shit,
with it.
so.
Yeah.
Sure.
The
I'm fine with it.
The time period is confusing me.
I can't tell if my mic is
1800s.
died.
How does that work?
What?
Anyway,
Or at least
when
my USB
the New York
device.
Post existed, when it still existed.
No, that would have been like early 1800s, I think.
Well, what's funny about the New York Post is it existed
Steampunk
actually for
boobies. That's all I want.
politicians. It wasn't even like that. It was for politicians
There we go.
to bitch at each other.
Yeah.
For example, like Alexander Hamilton, like bitched about. Thomas Jefferson bitched about Adams, calling him like a pedophilic rapist and like all
my.
this other
Yeah,
stuff.
there was some
like-
spicy stuff.
Damn.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was literally like a salacious, like defamation, like newspaper, and the New York Post was legitimately the TMZ on steroids. And a
Yeah.
lot of people like on my chats are like, it wasn't TMZ, it was actually reporting, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. Like,
No,
read your
it was
fucking history.
mostly shit
Like,
talking.
no.
It was mostly shit posting.
Exactly. It was
Not sure I
straight up
wanna even
like
bother to
they
look.
accused Adams of banging his niece. They
Maybe he
accused
did.
that was the only one that was actually true was Hamilton having an affair with
banged his niece?
Hamilton having an affair on his wife. But there was
With
like
his
a
niece.
number of other things like and you can see it like actually Drunk History does a really good thing about like the New York Post and how by the way, Catnip Dave, I want to know what song you're jamming to. 'Cause
I was
wanna
about
jam
to
it
ask,
too.
and people have mentioned in
I'm
the chat.
sure it's
what,
coming off in like 3
Dave,
seconds.
Are you starting your series already, Dave?
He's getting the vibe. He's getting the vibe in. I missed it last
I have
week.
to- I have to
Oh,
take my
Black
mic
Betty,
around
you
the
listened to
other
Ram
hand.
Jam. Nice.
Ooh, Black
Nice.
Betty. Hammer
Yes.
jam. It's just
Gotcha.
something. Show us your tits.
You do your thing. You'll get the stripper pole back one day.
Dave, I'll send you a stripper pole.
Anyway,
I have some random pipe I'll just send you.
I think I need a new USB interface for my microphone. So. Yes, so very well done on speed. Trump is being
Ramajam.
visibility filtered as late as a week before the election. His senior
Boys,
executive.
you're not blacklisted. You're visibility filtered.
Yeah, that's right. It's not shadow banning.
You've just been filtered out. That's all.
Yeah, you're not
No,
shadow
that's-
banned. You're just visibility filtered.
Just no one can see you, like, right? So you're not shadow banned.
Some or all content shared in this tweet is disputed and might be misleading about an election or other civic process. Please learn more. Like all these warnings, it's like a fucking Australian.
Give me that warning. I've never seen that warning before.
I've had that warning.
Like shit.
I think I've had that warning. I think
like
before Elon
Trump's
took over.
Trump's tweets in the lead up to the election had more warnings than a packet of cigarettes in Australia.
Yep.
Yeah. They should just give you guys like filthy Australian
cigarettes too.
questionable opinions.
Plain packaging.
So yeah, it's more.
This guy hangs out with abos. Questionable opinions.
Oh jeez.
Oh, we're over an hour in, so whatever.
Yeah, but we're still on YouTube.
What's wrong with that? That's fine. Is that wrong?
I get through the first topic and then I end the stream on YouTube.
I don't care if you say it. It's not my stream.
So yes, and a seemingly innocuous follow-up involved a tweet from actor Real James Woods.
Is that really like the N-word though? Like, is it really that bad?
Not quite.
No, not really.
Okay, then fine.
The N-word is the N-word here.
Abo is almost like saying Negro in the negative.
He said it. He fucking said it. He said it.
Miss.
Oh, but Miss, I was only using it as an example.
I was just saying an example.
A seemingly innocuous follow-up involved a tweet from actor James Woods.
I got caught.
Whose ubiquitous presence in argued over Twitter data sets or is already a Twitter files in joke. So yes, Twitter is suppressing the president's tweet. Suppressing this tweet by the president. Here's a screen grab. He's not wrong. There's nothing factually incorrect about that.
Nope.
What's this fucking consequences button? I didn't notice that going through this stuff the first time. What? This must be how you see these tweets in the interface. If you're an admin.
Explain it.
I remember actually seeing a lot of this stuff, at least on my Twitter, just from being a news person and like following a bunch of these types of people. I remember seeing this kind of stuff.
Afterwards, angrily
especially, I will tell you why. Especially being with RT America, they flag a lot of people. I was actually one of the people to not get flagged, but I remember seeing a lot of my friends get flagged, being like, "This is Russian disinformation." So that's where I remember seeing a lot of that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, obviously, everything we don't like is Russian disinformation.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, but I mean, so what would normally be here is the follow button, but here in this interface, it's consequences.
Wow, I never noticed that. Good get.
And I wonder if that's how you admin it. You see a tweet and you hit the consequences button as trust and safety.
Wow.
To decide thumbs up, thumbs down.
There are parents.
If they go to the guillotine or. So after Woods angrily quote tweeted about Trump's warning label Twitter staff in a preview of what ended up happening after January 6th, despaired of a reason for action, but resolved to quote hit him hard in a future VIO. Fuck these people.
Future violation.
Yeah. So well, he didn't violate this time, but we'll just hit him hard on a future VIO with a better, but with a firmer basis.
We'll make up for it next time. We'll hit you harder the second time.
Right.
Fucking hell.
Here a label is replied to Georgia Republican Congresswoman Jody Heiss for saying, quote, say no to big tech censorship. What? And mailed ballots are more prone to fraud than in-person balloting. It's just common sense. Well, that's true.
Oh, but it's not. Yep. It's not, because that's military cadence. Jody going to take your wife. Jody going to get your girl. Jody's boys now.
Now I know Tom Fitton. He's a lawyer himself.
He's the small guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the head of the...
He's got to stop wearing so much fucking makeup. He's wearing way too much makeup. Yeah. Like, I want to send him a fucking DM and I'll pay him for it. Stop wearing so much fucking makeup.
Well, to me, I don't care about that. I care about, him being a lawyer, and him actually wanting to file a class action lawsuit against Twitter. I will take him wearing a lot of makeup that he can't blend and filing a class action lawsuit against Twitter versus not wearing makeup and doing nothing.
He looks like he dumped his face into full fucking ball, like an entire fucking wheelbarrow of cocaine, just like.
And honestly, I will tell you from his perspective, just because I know when he's in DC, you do have makeup artists that come on and they do his makeup, and
he's been like that for a while though.
and there
Maybe
are
he's been
people
DC
that do
forever.
the.
I don't know.
And maybe there's people that do his makeup, obviously, and there are some people, like, for example, like Brett Baer on Fox News. There was a while where I was like, who the fuck is doing his makeup? And I know a lot of the makeup artists because they were going through when I was on an international network, and we had a lot of the makeup artists kind of rotate around in DC, and they were like, oh my God, I know. Like they said, like the last couple of nights, it's been horrible. And then they finally, figure it out. But like there was a couple of nights where Brett Baer looked horrible, and then he went back to normal. So men, I mean, women are very easy to do as far as makeup. Men are very difficult because you have to match their skin tone, because you have to make it look like they're not wearing makeup.
You don't have to match women's skin tone?
Made for us.
Like just men's? Like Tom
made
looks
for us.
like, look, I like him a lot, but like, man, like you look like Stewie from fucking Mad TV. Like, stop.
Well, and here's the
if
other
you
thing,
know
though,
anyone
too.
who's doing his makeup, please send them a letter and say, please stop.
Well,
Please
here's
don't
the
do
other
this
thing,
to
though,
him
too,
anymore.
is I will tell you, is most news anchors, they get either Botox or facelifts, and he might not be one of those men. And when you are aging,
He's
it's
a steroid
difficult.
man. You always see his arms.
Right.
Muscles.
And that can be a little bit of an issue.
muscles.
So, but yeah, that's like the inside makeup department of DC. There you go, guys. There you go,
I'm just
gentlemen.
saying, if you know anybody who knows him, tell him to get Invisalign and tell him to stop fucking putting the fucking white base on. Like, just stop.
Send me a link, because I have no idea what you're talking about, but like, send me a link.
Have you
please,
never seen his
have-
face?
Tom
You never seen him in like anything? Tom Fitton?
You never
No,
watched?
I've seen him. I've
yeah.
seen him, but he seems to look okay. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
as
he
of
means.
recent,
I
I
don't know what
don't
Tim
know.
means by too much makeup, though. All I know is he's fucking.
You're
jacked.
both wrong and or blind. He looks fucking ridiculous.
I'm sure. with
Okay,
all- I'm
well,
sure, I'm sure, I'm
live
sure
in the
at some
world you
point-
want. I
at
don't
some point he
really
probably
care.
has.
But
I don't look at his face too much. I only see like his thumbnails, but
well,
I know he's
I care more about the
jacked.
message, though.
Fuck him out!
Yes, Tim.
I'm fucking right. Fuck you. I know I'm right about this. I
It's
don't
probably
care.
happened. Sometimes people put on too
No,
much
it's every
foundation.
fucking time. All right, I'm gonna look it
whatever.
up. I'm
Fucking
fine.
me, people.
Yep.
So yes,
That's what we
Twitter
do.
scene when he's on high supplying only
for
soft.
it.
I'm gonna fucking power through this so that we can get to
Yeah, yeah.
part 4.
Well, no, let's not
Go for it.
have
I'm taking
another
my
7
dinner out of
hours
the
for-
oven.
We'll
So
not have
yes,
another
Where
7
are we
hours.
going in our lives that we need to power through anything? See?
Twitter
See?
team went easy on Heiss, applying
See,
only
I'm
soft
right.
intervention with Roth worrying about the wah-wah censorship optics backlash. So this person said devil's advocate. Oh, whatever. I said I was going to power through. So it becomes self-reinforcing wah-wah censorship cycle. So fuck these guys. Meanwhile, there are multiple instances of involving pro-Biden tweets warning Trump may try to steal the election that got surfaced, only to be approved by senior executives. This one, they decided just expressed concerns that mailed ballots might not make it on time.
Well,
This is so disgusting and terrifying. They're going to try and steal the election. You have 1 week.
nice,
If
Dan,
you haven't
nice.
voted yet, don't mail. Drop it off or vote
that.
early. If you can't vote, make sure your family is. Unless they're Trump supporters, just let them forget.
I see.
This is an edge case with the commentary encouraging voters not to vote by mail. I believe we should label it. Conlon, I think I'd not bother with labeling this one. It is encouraging people to vote, but expresses the concern that mailed ballots might not make it in time, which seems fair this close to the election date. Still encouraging people to turn in their ballots. Fuck this guy. That's understandable. Even the hashtag steal our votes reference the theory that a combo of Amy Coney Barrett and Trump will steal the election is approved by Twitter brass because it's, quote, understandable and, quote, reference to a Supreme Court decision. In this exchange, again, unintentionally humorous, former Attorney General Eric Holder claimed the U.S. Postal Service was deliberately crippled, ostensibly by the Trump administration. He was initially hit with a generic warning label, but that was quickly taken off by Roth.
That being Obama's wingman, Eric Holder.
Yeah, that's Obama's wingman. So they go, it's too late to use the mail, blah, blah, blah.
How about you don't
Hey,
use
Roth, can we
mail?
reverse? Hey, can we reverse the label in this tweet?
Yeah.
So are these like what are is this Slack channel
These are
shit?
internal Slack messages.
Yeah, these are Slack.
From their Slack system. So late November 2020, Roth asked staff if staff had a debunk moment on the SCYTL Smartmatic vote counting stories, which his DHS contact told him were a combination of about 47 conspiracy theories.
These fucking people, man.
So he wanted them to create a moment that they could point people to anytime someone tweeted about it. Those were those.
Yeah, it didn't work, but
things
he
that
tried.
Twitter had at the time. So on December 10th, as Trump was in the middle of firing off 25 tweets saying things like, quote, a coup is taking place right in front of our eyes, Twitter executives announced a new level 3 de-amplification tool. This
God, I
step
wish
meant
I
a
had
warning
coup right in
label
front
would
of my
now
eyes.
also come with de-amplification. Like, I wanted to give you an update, blah, 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 entity IDs. So some executives wanted to use the new de-amplification tool to silently limit Trump's reach more right away, beginning with the following tweet. So it looks like a tweet of Trump from a segment on Newsmax.
I'd kill myself if I had to wear a tie every day.
It's not that bad.
No, I'd kill myself.
As
I know
someone,
you have
as
to.
someone who had to wear a tie every day when I went into the office.
I know.
It's
I'm
fine.
sorry for you, but I can't. I'm not. I'm
I have
a
a
weird
whole
animal.
I have a whole closet of ties.
You're a
imagine
better
you
man
do.
than I am,
I
Thermalite.
imagine you do.
Mm-hmm.
I have one
It's
tie.
awesome.
I have one tie. I don't wear ties
Like-
unless I'm at a funeral.
I had to.
I don't
wear
even
the,
have a
I had to
funeral
wear the
suit.
full
I need a
shebang.
funeral
I've
suit.
got. I had to wear ties. I had to wear a collared shirt, cufflinks, all that stuff.
Yeah, you don't
great
have to
to-
wear cuff.
it's
They don't make
actually-
you wear cufflinks, do they?
Yeah.
Would you, if you're
no,
in
well, if you've
management,
got if you've got proper shirts, you need
business,
to have cufflinks.
business formal, yeah,
You need to.
the dress code might say business formal, which would be
Cufflinks
suit,
are great,
tie,
man. Buttons on a.
They're
buttons on a
okay if
shirt.
you're being cool, but I mean, only if you're a drug dealer. Like I don't, corporate cufflinks are not cool.
I've
So
never
yes,
worn cufflinks in my life.
okay. So the significance is it shows that
I have
Twitter
to a
in
funeral.
2020 at least was deploying a vast range of visible and invisible tools to rein in Trump's engagement long before January 6th.
Hang on, Farron. I'll link that for you in chat. I know which one he's talking about. I like the
The
Jacob.
ban will come after other avenues are exhausted. In Twitter docs, executives frequently refer to bots, e.g.,
The fuck
let's
is
put a
that?
bot on
Yeah.
that. A bot is just any automated heuristic moderation rule. It can be anything. Every time a person in Brazil uses green and blob in the same sentence, an action might be taken. That's actually pretty powerful.
Green and blob.
Yeah.
If you want to suppress stuff, if you want to take actions, or if you want to boost stuff. In this instance, it appeared that moderators were added a bot for a Trump claim made on Breitbart. The bots ended up becoming an automated tool invisibly watching both Trump and apparently Breitbart. Will add media ID to
Not
bot.
shocked.
Trump, by January 6th, was quickly covered in bots. There's no way to follow the frenzied exchanges among Twitter personnel from between January 6th and 8th without knowing the basics of the company's vast lexicon of acronyms and Orwellian unwords.
Jesus.
To bounce an account is to put it in timeout, usually for a 12-hour
Trump,
review.
GW.
Cool out. Cool off. Interstitial. One of the many nouns used as a verb in Twitter speak. Denialist is another. Means placing a physical label atop a tweet so it can't be seen.
Weird.
PII has multiple meanings. One being public interest interstitial, i.e. a covering label for public interest reasons. The post below also references proactive V, proactive visibility filtering. Jesus fucking Christ. And this is what you were saying, Farron, about all the inside baseball speak. This is all the necessary background of J6. Before the riots, the company was engaged in an inherent insane/impossible project, trying to create an ever-expanding, ostensibly rational set of rules to regulate every conceivable speech situation that might arise between humans. The project was preposterous, yet its leaders were unable to see this, having become infected with groupthing, I presume he means groupthink, coming to believe sincerely that it was Twitter's responsibility to control as much as possible what people could talk about, how often, and with whom. The firm's executives on day one of January 6th crisis at least tried to pay lip service to its dizzying array of rules. By day 2, they began wavering. By day 3, 1 million rules were reduced to 1. What we say goes. So yes, Par 4. The removal of Donald Trump, January 7th, 2021. As pressure builds, Twitter executives build the case for a permanent ban.
Yep. It's just, it's shocking that it's let out everything they've actually been doing.
Well, Elon's got no skin in the game. He didn't do it. He gets total deniability while being able to A, promote his platform, B, draw a line under all of it, and C, say this is our new outlook. Transparency.
Not my fault.
Once again, for me, it's like, imagine all the shit they fucking buried before this happened.
Absolutely.
The smart people who are like, oh shit, this is going down. Like, when the first anti-bans happened, like 6 months ago, like, everything was buried then. When we're just getting the leftover bullshit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, one of the things like with Twitter Files 3 too is that you see very clearly is that they thought they could be your judge and jury of thoughts, and that they thought that, like, you know, oh, they're too dumb to understand, so we're gonna think for them. Especially Yoel Roth. And that's where I will say that's the saddest part to me. And I talked about this last night. That's the saddest part to me, is that this big tech oligarchy had so much control, and that they actually thought that we were going to believe them, and many of us did. However, there were so many people out there saying, I feel like what I am saying is getting shadow banned. I feel like what I'm saying is not being heard. And now we actually have the freaking proof. We actually have the data to show that the big four, Vijaya Gotti, Jack Dorsey, Paraj Agrawal, and Yoel Roth, they were the big four that made sure that whatever the hell they believed got out in the universe, and whatever they didn't like never saw the light of day.
How's Vijaya
And
doing?
that's
Does
the
she need a
saddest
place
part.
to stay or what? Like, is she all right?
She made $17 million last year before she left Twitter. But mind you, when she
All right,
left
so she
Twitter,
really does. Like,
she
Vijaya.
was sobbing.
Get that shit
She was
off.
sobbing. She was sobbing when she left Twitter, and when she
I'll
realized
support
Elon
you.
was taking over.
You horrible fucking monster. I'll support you.
And the reason why, mind you, she left Twitter with 17 million when the whole production and the whole thing sold. But she was sobbing because she knew she was about to be flippin' compromised. And that's the most satisfying
I'll
thing
compromise
to
the
me.
shit out of her.
That's the most compromising thing. I'm gonna hop off here, but I am going to link everybody to watch the Twitter Files Drop 4 to your channel, Thermo.
Sorry, I drove you away, Farron.
No. You're totally fine.
She's got to eat her dinner. Jesus.
I miss you so much. Enjoy your dinner. How good is it? What kind of dinner?
What is it, like
No,
10 p.m. where you are,
I'm
Farron?
literally putting shelves and stuff like together in my apartment, and I wanted to stop by because this is super important. I'm so glad you guys are covering it, especially the fact that half of you guys are freaking Australian, and you guys know more than we do.
They're disgusting. It's gross,
We have
right?
Twitter
Like,
as well.
High five the
What are we
disgusting
talking about this
Australians.
shit for? Well, I was formally banned. I was banned off Twitter for a long time. Like, it definitely absolutely fucking
I'm going directly to hell.
Yep.
I got banned for the stupidest reasons. I don't know
got banned
why.
for calling Mike Cernovich retarded. Like,
He is retarded. I'm sorry.
You should never be banned for that because it's true.
but it
It
was
is
hateful.
true.
So
It was deep
so
hateful.
I threw it out on my locals. I want my audience to watch Drop 4 with you guys because it's important. I feel like, I've
You're
covered
gonna get a
Drop
good
1,
strip
2,
show
3.
as well.
I thought it was a nothing
And,
burger, Farron. Everybody's been telling us it's a nothing burger. Nothing we didn't already
Exactly.
know.
It's a nothing burger, right? Exactly. But,
The audience is gonna get some nice nipples soon. Like Dave's gonna take that shirt off, and it's gonna be fucking great.
No.
Well,
There
I
are
will.
no-
I will tell you. It's
no
probably going to be
nipples.
time stamped. But
What do you mean no nipples?
that though.
I don't have nipples.
Well, I want to
So you
see the
burned one
fucking
off.
burnt
That's right.
husks of your
I don't have
anti-nipples. I want to see them.
All right, Farron, go and put your closet together and eat your dinner.
Hey, you should stay for a minute and see Dave's nipples.
No,
he doesn't have
I
them.
will be listening. I promise you. I will be listening. I promise you. I'll probably be. Wait, hang on.
Make sure you click it on when he shows the
Hang
anti-nipples.
on. You're not even. Oh my God, 324
Real people?
subs.
We're not even real people.
Folks, sub to Thermo right now. Holy
That's it?
shit! What are you
Disgusting.
doing? Everybody sub to Thermo right now. I want to see not only the likes, I want to see the subs. We got to get Thermo monetized. And you know what? We're going to do it.
Right? We should do that to him.
I'm telling you, we're going to get it done. If not tonight, tomorrow night. I promise.
We're going to make his life much harder, making him monetized.
Probably.
Yes.
He's going to have incentive to get better. What the shit?
Who do I have to get out of this fucking show? Well, I know a guy.
Yeah, who's going to get me demonetized?
No.
Weird. Who's that going to be?
You bastard.
No, but I will say this. I will say this for my audience that's here is that Thermo and the rest of you guys are very logical.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to pick up the Twitter Files 4 up from here more than anyone that I would ever probably trust. And you guys are going to actually, comb through it. And I trust my audience that I have the trust in my audience that they're going to love the way that you cover it as well, the same way that I do. So
Dave's going to show nips too.
Exactly.
When we get to Rumble, you'll get that, Tim. When we go to Rumble,
when we go to Rumble, then Dave can take his shirt off.
Yeah. Just can't do it on YouTube.
I'm just trying to incentivize everyone.
I will be listening as I put everything together. But I love you
Put
guys.
us on in the background.
Let's see you,
Enjoy.
Bye, Farron.
Enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
Dave, take your shirt off.
No, we're not on Rumble yet.
All right.
Are we? What year is it? What day is this?
Oh, we are on Rumble, but we have to leave YouTube.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, so let's go. This is part 4. So
Who's
January
Michael
7th,
Schellenberger?
Michael Schellenberger is another.
He looks like a doctor
reporter.
of some sort. Oh no.
So he's a doctor. He's a doctor, but he's also
it's
an
right-
author.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he
right
looks
there.
like something.
MD, my initials, Michael D. Schellenberger, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Schellenberger, MD.
Michael
He's not
Dickless
a doctor.
Schellenberger.
Hashtag not a doctor. So yes,
Hashtag
January
piece of shit.
7th, senior Twitter execs create justification to ban Trump, seek a change of policy for Trump alone, distinct from other political leaders, express no concern for the free speech or democracy implications of a ban. This Twitter Files is reported with L. Woodhouse.
I love these people. Oh,
I don't
love
trust
them so
anybody
much.
whose first name ends with T-O-N, like Leighton, Brenton.
Oh shit, I'm in trouble.
Woodton. Anyone whose first name sounds like a last name.
Big
I don't trust.
Dickton.
Leighton.
Woodhouse.
So yes,
I know a
for those
couple
catching up,
Brentons, I
please
can trust
see
them.
part 1, Matt Taibbi's, part 2, Barry Weiss, part 3, Matt Taibbi's, which we just read. So for years, Twitter had resisted calls to ban Trump. Quote, blocking a world leader from Twitter, it wrote in 2018, quote, would hide important
2018.
info. Yep.
Yeah, they were
Would hide
considering it back
important
then.
info and hamper necessary discussion around words and actions.
Excuse me.
These people are so
And here it is.
fucking ridiculous.
Black and white. Blocking a world leader from Twitter or removing their controversial tweets would hide important information people should be able to see and debate. It would also not silence that leader, but it would certainly hamper necessary discussion around their words and actions.
Yes.
Effectively silent.
We review tweets by leaders within the political context that defines them and enforce our rules accordingly. No
They
one
let the
person's
Taliban
account,
live forever.
Yeah, drives
Trump's done.
Twitter's growth or influences these decisions. We work hard to remain unbiased with the public interest in mind. We are working to make Twitter the best place to see and freely discuss everything that matters. We believe that's the best way to help
That
our
was
society make progress.
Well, that was a fucking lie. We need that clip too.
Just Cause, yes, this is part 4. And I love the profile pic. So, yes. But after the events of January 6th, the internal and external pressure on Twitter CEO at Jack grows. Former First Lady Michelle Obama,
Michael Obama.
tech journalist Kara Swisher,
She's got dick.
the ADL,
She's got dick.
high-tech venture capitalist Chris Sarker. I don't think that's the right Chris Sarker.
Yeah, doesn't
and
look right.
many others publicly call on Twitter to permanently ban Trump. Chris Sacco, you got blood on your hands, Jack and Zuck. For 4 years, you've rationalized this terror. Inciting violent treason is not a free speech exercise. If you work at those companies, it's on you to shut it down.
Shut it down.
Now is the time for Silicon Valley companies to stop enabling this monstrous behavior and go even further than they have already by permanently banning this man from their platforms and putting in place policies to prevent their technologies from being used by the nation's leaders to fuel insurrection.
It's the Jews.
It's time for social media platforms to permanently ban Trump.
That's dark. It's terrifying.
2 barely minimum tweets after the Capitol has been stormed by extremists is too little, too late, Jack. It's overdue to suspend the real Donald Trump. His account promotes disinformation and incites violence.
You work with the ADL, Jonathan.
Cowardly cucks.
Thank you, Farron.
Thank you, as always.
So yes.
Where's it at? Where do we find it?
We're looking at it.
So Dorsey was on vacation in French Polynesia the week of January 4th to 8th, which is great idea. He phoned into meetings, but also delegated much of the handling of the situation to senior execs Yoel Roth, Twitter's head of global trust and safety, and Vijaya, head of legal policy and trust. As context, it's important to understand that Twitter staff and senior executives were overwhelmingly progressive. 2018, 2020, and 2022, 96%, 98%, and 99% of Twitter staff's political donations went to Democrats.
Yeah, no one believed me when I tell them that, no, social media and just technology in general votes and supports Democrats. They don't believe me.
How are we going to believe a person from a place that's not even real?
Silicon Valley is in the heart of California.
Well,
the bluest of blue states.
All these companies operate in Australia as well, too, Tim. So I'm talking to Australians. I mean, I'm saying like, no, these companies are left-leaning. Objectively, they are progressive. They donate to Democrats, and if they could, they would donate to Labor in Australia. They don't believe me.
Actually, no, they wouldn't. They would donate to the Greens.
True.
We discussed this the other day.
Can we do that? Can we do that and see what happens?
The Labor Party
Let's stir it up.
The Labor Party is more like the left wing is more like the left wing faction of the Republicans.
Yeah, Labor's relatively centre left. Yeah,
centre left to centre right.
U.S. Democrats are closer to the Greens.
The Liberal
Australian
Party
Greens.
here is centre right to right. And
I thought, haven't you had conservatives in power? Is that England? Like, what do you guys had?
What?
Like, who's been in power there? Like,
for the most part, it has been conservatives. Our conservatives
so the center
left,
like that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, your centrists are not in power, but the conservatives in power, but it's more centrist than anyone could ever. It's fucking nightmares.
Tim, it's more like both our main parties are
overlap.
It's like they're the same party, like we have here, and it's called the deep state.
Our left and right are not. Your left and right are out here. That's where your Democrats over here, Republicans over here.
There's a lot in the middle in the US that isn't captured because
I'm not sure. You guys are about going into camps and fucking dragging people into them. So
yeah, but both parties support that. Both parties support that.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound like we're left and right so far apart. Like, because that doesn't sound.
Let's continue.
Yeah, no, it's definitely that.
So in 2017, Roth tweeted that there were, quote, actual Nazis in the White House. In April 2022, Roth told a colleague that his goal is, quote, to drive change in the world, which is why he decided not to become an academic.
It's the best way to do it.
Yes, that person in the pink hat is clearly a bigger threat to your brand of feminism than, quote, actual Nazis in the White House.
So legitimate German officers from World War II.
No, I think he means actual Nazis in the way normal
German
people would think
yes.
of Nazis. But yes. So Yoel Roth here says, academia is by far the most abusive working environment I've ever been in. The entire system is exploitative in a ton of ways and also not necessarily productive if your goal is to drive change in the world, which was the main reason I left. Yes, Dr. Richard Thunder says Labor is very pro-union.
Labor introduced the neoliberalism to Australia.
Very neoliberal, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Hawks and Keating.
for
My
introducing.
greatest hero is Rudolf Deissel. He's born in North
welcome,
Germany.
Todd
He has
Buckshine.
many German skills. He's the pioneer of the
I'm gonna
Deissel engine.
I'm gonna
Very
assume
good.
that stupid
These
fucker-
things they burn on oils.
You're
Very,
right.
very, very good. Das, I am. You know how good Germany is. Have you ever heard? Can learn about the Germany? Like we should be the
on
kings of the
January-
world.
on January
Doesn't
Anyway,
you know what Germany?
back to the topic.
Anyway, on January 7th, Jack emails employees saying Twitter
we
needs to
talking about
remain
Germany?
consistent in its policies, including the right of users to return to Twitter after a temporary suspension. After, Roth reassures an employee that, quote, people who care about this aren't happy with where we are. People who care about this? Who are fucking people who care about this?
Can you
Jack's
believe a
emails
country
have
that lost a world war is suddenly in charge of the entire continent? Like, just think about that.
So, Jack's emails have been fine, but ultimately I think people want to hear from Vijaya or Dell or someone closer to the specifics who can reassure them that people who care about this are thinking deeply about these problems and aren't happy with where we are. A few engineers have reached out to me directly about it. I'm chatting with them, but it's clear they just want to know that someone is doing something about it, and it's not that we're ignoring issues here. I think there's also an opportunity to help people understand that while it seems obvious and simple that we should, quote, that we should permaban his personal account, we can't afford to take that immediate action without first playing the movie out and anticipating all the other things that can happen, and then figure out the plans for those possible scenarios. If we suspend the personal account and he posts the same thing on the official government account, do we suspend that too? People can be forgiven for not thinking beyond the thing that is immediately in front of him, but Jack, Vijaya, Dell, you don't have the luxury of just pulling the trigger without thinking things through. Lol. We tell them repeatedly that people are on it and that people are working on it and that they're scratching their heads wondering how it can be, how hard can it be to decide if this single account is in violation. So, around 11:30 a.m. PT, Roth DMs his colleagues with news that he is excited to share. Guess what, he writes. Jack just approved repeat offender for civic integrity. The new approach would create a system where 5 violations, strikes, would result in a permanent suspension. Why the fuck are these people so excited about like this shit? Guess what?
Because now we
Giant
can
We got new rules to be able to fucking
New
crush
rules. We can
people.
report all the right wingers and ban them off the platform.
They should have
Legitimately.
a legit measurement to see how giant their penises are for banning anti-speech.
Throw it on the table. Look how much power we can wield over you.
Yeah.
Look at how
Progress
giant.
exclaims, a member of
Ecox.
Roth's trust and safety
I'm
team.
6.5 inches. Look how big my penis is.
The exchange between Roth and his colleagues make it clear that they had been pushing Jack for greater restrictions on the speech Twitter allows around elections.
Push Jack.
Colleagues want to know if the decision means Trump can finally be banned. The person asked, does the incitement to violence aspect change that calculus?
Push
Roth
that weak
says it
motherfucker.
doesn't.
Push him.
Trump continues to just have his one strike.
Trump doesn't even know what's happening anymore. It's
Progress.
sad
Does this
to me.
affect our approach to Trump, who I think publicly said he had one remaining strike? Or does the incitement to violence aspect change that calculus? Trump continues to just have one strike. Okay, so Roth's colleague's query about the incitement to violence heavily foreshadows what will happen the following day. On January 8th, Twitter announces a permanent ban on Trump due to the, quote, risk of further incitement to violence. After close review of recent tweets from the real Donald Trump account and the context around them, specifically how they are being received and interpreted on and off Twitter, we have permanently suspended the account due to a risk of further incitement of violence. Did you hear that, chat? If there's a risk, you'll be banned. On J8, Twitter says its ban is based on, quote, specifically how Trump's tweets are being received and interpreted.
So it's not what he said.
Yeah, it's not what he said. It's how people are hearing it.
Yeah.
He's
Which we already knew. Yeah.
a lot of birds.
This is the
bird
problem
comments.
because the press spent the lead up to January 6th saying that he's inciting violence, he's inciting violence, he's inciting violence. But he wasn't.
Not
Even when he was
close.
there, he wasn't.
You could just MSM articles like this hard to justify inciting violence. Ooh, it's getting weird. Go home, please. Please go home. It's getting weird. Oh,
But in
yeah,
2019,
actually-
Twitter said it did not attempt to determine all potential interpretations of the content or its intent. And again, this is where the
Lies.
danger lies. Once you fucking
Lies.
try to, see, an example. So Tem's being annoying. I don't know if his intent is to be annoying or if that's just Tem.
What do you mean?
And to,
I
and
thought
to
that was
read in.
fair.
Shots fired.
Is that not fair? I thought that was fair. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be. When I want to be annoying, I'll let you know about it.
Okay, cool. The only serious concern we
I
found
thought that was fair.
The only serious concern we found expressed within Twitter over the implications for free speech and democracy of banning Trump came from a junior person in the organization. It was tucked away in a low-level Slack channel known as Incite Integrity Auto. Might be an unpopular opinion, but one-off ad hoc decisions like this that don't appear rooted in policy are, in my honest opinion, a slippery slope and reflect an alternatively equally dictatorial problem. This now appears to be a fiat by an online platform CEO with a global presence that can gatekeep speech for the entire world, which seems unsustainable.
Can we get a lighted button when I'm allowed to talk? Like, I just want to know. Like, when can I?
Oh my God!
When can I do stuff?
Well,
just give me a button. Like, give me a light or something.
Everyone else on YouTube is afraid to cover this. Period.
Or just go like.
There's a handful of us even, willing to do it in the first place. I think some people are afraid of more of like the worse than just being kicked off of YouTube.
I have an active strike. If they want to give me another one, so be it.
Yeah.
If you haven't got one, like, how do you not? Like,
it's at this point, it's a badge of honor.
You haven't even kicked me off yet. Like, if anybody's gonna get you a strike, it's gonna be me, right?
Yeah,
like, right?
But it'll be worth it. This might be
apparently not. Yeah, just give me a light. Like, how can we get like a fucking like a red buzzer light? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, please press the button.
If I want you to shut up, I do this.
Fuck him out! No problem, John.
And then you
can we do the naked butter scene too? Like, can we get a little bit farther into that?
I haven't watched Bronson.
Andy Love. Oh, Andy Love. Like, let's get into that part.
I need to put that on because Dave's dancing. So, Twitter employees use the term one-off frequently in their Slack discussions. Its frequent use reveals significant employee discretion over when and where to apply warning labels on tweets and strikes on users. Here are typical examples. I heard that.
I know. I didn't. It
Has anybody gone through all the Twitter employees looking for Jewish names? I'm sure Kanye's sitting there with a
Yoel Roth. Weird.
Yeah, Yoel Roth is Jewish. It's a Jewish
so
man.
Accounts review USA secession. We're trying to understand the one-off decision here. There's always abuse one-off. Recall from Twitter Files 2 by Barry Weiss that according to Twitter staff, quote, we control visibility quite a bit and control the amplification of your content quite a bit. And normal people do not know how much we do. And again, that's the pernicious shit. That's what censorship you don't know is happening is the worst kind of censorship.
Again, you're trying to doing everything in the shadows.
Yep.
Is worse.
Dave, can you milk a cat? Is that a possible thing, or is it just a movie trope? Can you milk a cat?
No, I'm sure you can milk a cat.
They're mammals.
No, I'm gonna ask Dave. Dave knows.
I've had like
they have milk, but that's not the point.
I've had like multiple cats, and there was a few that I had to. I had to provide milk for the kittens that didn't quite get in there.
Was it you or the cat? Yeah. Tell me. Was it like we're like, well, I'll give it. Tell me. Was it the cat or was it you?
It was the cat because there was only 6 nipples and there were 7 kittens.
One always misses out. Yeah.
It'd be so good if you provided the milk to the cat. Like,
no,
I need an extra titty.
We provided milk from the cat.
Shit, yours are gone though. You can't even shit. That's fucking rough.
So yes, Twitter employees recognize the difference between their own politics and Twitter's terms of service, but they also engage in complex interpretations of content in order to stamp out prohibited tweets, as a series of exchanges over the Stop the Steal hashtag reveals. Hey, hope
Did the
you're
cat
doing
grow
okay.
up healthy though? Like, is it okay? Like, how's the cat?
Hey, hope you're doing okay, and we're able to get some sleep. Can we or have we already discussed blocking the Stop the Steal hashtag? It's furthering fake news in a dangerous way from what I can tell. Hey there, we're proactively surfacing that content for review under civic integrity, and it should be blocked from a type ahead and trends. So type ahead is where you type hash and start to type the first few letters, and it will give you a list of all the related hashtags. And trending is obviously trending. If you see it in either of the latter two, let me know ASAP, and PT can fix it. What's PT again?
Physical therapy.
It is, yes. I saw the hashtag, then did a search on it, and all the content was appalling, so I don't think it's showing up elsewhere. Thank you for what you're doing.
You could do a lot
I'll
of
flag
damage in
to the
physical
election
therapy.
squad. Election squad. Yes, chat, stop instigating him.
Where's chat doing that? How can I get in on this? Like, where's?
We're not having another 7 hour.
I'll flag to the election squad. Remember what I
We have
what I
7-hour
find
streams every
appalling and what is a TOS VIO are not exactly overlap. Not an exact overlap. Fuck with. Roth immediately DMs a colleague to ask that they add Stop the Steal, a QAnon conspiracy term, and a QAnon conspiracy term Kraken to a blacklist of terms to be de-amplified. Roth's colleague objects that blacklisting Stop the Steal risks de-amplifying counter speech that validates the election. And you've just run. This guy's just run into the fucking problem.
Did you tell the chat that Elb was going to be showing her feet today?
No, because she's not. Elb's working.
She's not here.
She might.
She's not here.
This is how you get fucking viewers. Just lie to them, like fucking Hambly does. Just lie.
This is episode 27. If you think I know how to, if you think I had any idea how to get viewers,
we've
we
been
would
doing
have
this
them
for
by
like
now.
67 years. Like, I don't even know what the fuck we're doing here. We've been doing this forever. It can't be 27. It's got to be like 106.
I know it's 27, but it feels like more because they're 7 hours.
We've been
long.
doing it at least 3 years, like at least.
If you divide it by like number of hours, it's probably
Probably one stream every week for 3 years. Yeah.
Yes. So where was it?
Anyway,
so
back to it.
Indeed, notes Roth's colleague. A quick search of top Stop the Steal tweets and their counter speech.
But you could find a good-looking Australian girl just on the street. Like, can we get it? Like, why can't we do that?
But they quickly come up
right
with a
outside.
solution.
I've seen your house right outside. Just ignore the bird.
hell
just
you
go to the
have.
fucking beach.
You haven't seen his house. You haven't seen
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
my house
Tim's
either.
house.
You haven't seen
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
my house. You haven't seen outside my house.
No, you
Not
opened the door
yours,
and we
Tim.
saw.
Like, I don't know what you're doing. You-
Technically true.
But they quickly come up with a solution. De-amplify accounts with Stop the Steal in the name/profile, since those are not affiliated with
bikini.
counter speech.
You know,
Fucking hell.
desperate tiny bikini girl.
But it turns out that even blacklisting Kraken is less straightforward than they thought. That's
how you
because
make money.
Kraken, in addition to being a QAnon conspiracy theory based on the mythical Norwegian sea monster, is also the name of a cryptocurrency exchange and was thus allow listed.
Can't ban Kraken without affecting Kraken the currency, so... okay.
I also think adding Kraken to the various bots may have broken something. No, I know you're out of hospital for when you're back. Oh, guys, I removed Kraken the other day, FYI. It did break something. There's an app called Kraken app or something.
Jesus Christ!
we
This is like
allow
being on our
list that-
Slack channel.
This is retarded. Yes, it's a crypto exchange.
God. So anyway, you need to like let on the big-titted fucking mermaids. Like, just like, why not? Like, just go out to the
Yes.
fucking water.
Let me read.
Yes, Brian, you're exactly correct.
Let my people read. Employees struggle with whether to punish users who share screenshots of Trump's deleted J6 tweets. Quote, should we bounce these tweets with a strike given the screenshot violates the policy? Quote, they are criticizing Trump, so I'm a bit hesitant with applying a strike to the user. This is why you don't do this. This is why you
I'm
don't
just trying to
fucking
make this better. Like,
Dude,
let's get weird.
There's plenty of time. I have many, many more topics that we will do over on Rumble.
I've
after
seen
this
the
one.
beach. Just go out there and talk to some random weirdo chick. have the wife do it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, so they want to ban this person
Yeah,
who's saying fuck off, oh my god, even Twitter says it's inciting violence. So we should not pass this with a strike given that the screenshot violates the policy. They're commenting and criticizing. Like, don't fucking censor. If you don't censor, you don't run into these problems. What if a user dislikes Trump and objects to the Twitter's censorship? The tweet
And
gets
has big
deleted.
tits.
But since the intention is not to deny election results, no punishing strike is applied. If there are instances where the intent is unclear, please feel free to raise. Oh my god. They're doing this shit on the fly. Like, it's baffling. Around noon, this is all in one day, mind.
Yep.
Around noon, a confused senior executive in advertising sales sends a DM to Roth.
Sorry.
Sales exec says, quote, Jack says we will permanently suspend Trump if our policies are violated after a 12-hour account lock. What policies is Jack talking about? Roth, any policy violation.
Yep.
Not just limited to elections, but therefore sharing anything. Please coordinate on the comms side. I'm like, what happens next is essential to understanding how Twitter justified banning Trump. Sales exec, quote, are we dropping the public interest policy now? Roth, 6 hours later, quote, in this specific case, we're changing our public interest approach for his account. Fucking hell.
57 minutes.
So the ad exec is referring to the Twitter policy of public interest exceptions, which allows content of elected officials, even if it violates Twitter rules, quote, if it directly contributes to the understanding or discussion of a matter of public concern. Roth pushes for a permanent suspension of Rep Matt Gaetz, even though it, quote, doesn't fit quite anywhere. Duh. It's kind of a test case of the rationale for banning Trump. Quote, I'm trying to talk Twitter's safety team into removing as a conspiracy that incites violence. So, let's have a look. What's the latest on Antifa claims? Anything brewing policy-wise? It's yelling from the other room that we should just ban Gaetz. So site integrity are both working on it. I'm trying to talk safety into treating it as incitement. I think we'll get over the. See, they're literally like, oh, we'll work to get you to that line. Fucking bullshit.
Oh my.
Around 2:30, comms exec DMs Roth to say they don't want to make a big deal of the QAnon ban to the media because they fear, quote, if we push this, it looks like we're trying to offer up something in the place of the thing everyone wants, meaning a ban of Trump. That evening, Twitter engineer DMs Roth to say, quote, I feel a lot of debates around exceptions stem from the fact that Trump's account is not technically different from anybody else and yet treated differently due to his personal status without corresponding Twitter rules. Yes, the fact that he is president is just a personal status. Fucking Christ. Roth's response hints at how Twitter would justify deviating from its long-standing policy. To put a different spin on it, policy is one part of a system of how Twitter works. We ran into the world changing faster than we were able to either adapt the product or the policy. So Yoel Roth here says, I think you're spot on. To put a different spin on it, policy is one part of the system of how Twitter works. There are different things you can change when you want to affect different behavior. Ugh. Policy and enforcements are one, the product is another, partnerships and outreach are another, etc. And all of that is situated in a bigger system, the world which influences how everyone else operates in practice. When you change one part of the system, you necessarily have to adapt the rest. And I think we ran into the world changing faster than we're able to either adapt the product or the policy. But we can and should do both. Fucking hell, these people want to change the world.
Can someone put me in charge? Just put me in charge of this, and I'll throw Yoel Roth in a fucking wood chipper.
I'd vote for you for president, Tim.
You know, like everyone else hates me, but I feel like we'll make some shit happen.
Only the chat hates you, and the chat hates everyone. So
yeah.
Well, I hate the chat as well, but it's okay.
Chat loves me.
Until they don't.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The evening of January 7th. The same.
Give it 10 seconds, and they'll hate the shit out of you.
Yeah.
So the evening of January 7th, the same junior employee who expressed an unpopular opinion. I really want to know who this guy is. I really want to know who this
Steve
fucking
Steverson. Let's put him in a wood
absolute
chipper.
boss who actually had the balls to say, "Hang on,
is that
wait
what
a minute."
happened?
No, this is the slippery slope guy. This is the guy who's like, "This might be unpopular, but this looks pretty bad. Maybe we shouldn't do this." So the junior employee who expressed an unpopular opinion about ad hoc decisions that don't appear to be rooted in policy speaks up one last time before the end of the day. Earlier the day, the employee wrote, "My concern is specifically surrounding the unarticulated logic of the decision by FB." What's F? Fuck these acronyms,
Facebook.
man.
Yeah.
Facebook? Yes, okay, yeah. That space fills up with the... I thought it was an internal one. I'm
Yeah,
like, what the
same,
fuck are
but
they
I
using
realised
FB for? Doesn't that
FB,
get confusing?
Facebook, because you got nuked from there too.
That space fills with the idea, conspiracy theory, that all internet moguls sit around like kings, casually deciding what people can and cannot see.
Well, they
This
do.
guy's a fucking boss. Everybody, the world needs to know who this man is. Presumably man. That's the space that fills with the idea that all social media. Again, this is in my honest opinion only, and it's unhelpful to the internet ecosystem as a whole. Holy shit!
You ain't wrong about that.
What a fucking hero!
Actually, burning a fire. Let's get weird with it. Let's just let it roll. But they don't ever do
Employee
that.
notes later in the day, and will almost notice the inconsistency too, linking to an article for 10 at Medium called Facebook chucked its own rule book to ban Trump. We're not
Goddamn
reading this.
animal.
Yeah, Caesar.
Et tu?
Aue unto Kaiser.
They've
Ave tu to Kaiser, yeah.
the underlying problem, writes Will Ormus, is that the dominant platforms have always been loath to own up to their own subjectivity, because it highlights the extraordinarily unfettered
Stream's
power
lacking
that
in
they
breasts.
wield over the global public square, and places the responsibility for that power on their own shoulders. So they hide behind an ever-changing rulebook, alternately pointing to it when it's convenient and then shoving it under the nearest rug when it isn't. Fucking spot on. This is the thing. If everything you use to justify your decisions is, well, it's not me, I'm just following the rules. Well, who writes the rules? Oh, I do. Well, yeah, guess what?
Mad
Facebook
Max
suspension-
number one. Mad Max
Facebook
number
sus-
one.
Facebook suspension of Trump now puts Twitter in an awkward position. If Trump does indeed return to Twitter,
Take
the
your
pressure
freedom.
on Twitter will ramp up to find a pretext on which to ban him as well. Indeed, and as Barry Weiss will show tomorrow, that's exactly what happened.
So Barry's got part 5.
Yes, so tomorrow there will be part 5. I won't be covering that. Someone else will, Farron will probably stream that, or someone else out there, but yes, there is a part 5. I'll be back in a moment because I need to grab another beer.
Righto.
Because talking makes my
A
mouth.
beer? This man's drinking beer at 7 a.m. in the fucking... What?
It's 2:38 in the afternoon
On a Sunday.
on a Sunday. Give me a fucking break.
Yep.
And you're the one who you're fucking 3 sheets to the wind by the time you get here.
I will give you break. I am Mr. Break. I will give you all the breaks. I'm just amazed that you're even I've touched alcohol. And just God. Fuck.
I'm out of alcohol. I used all my. I used up the rest of mine last week on camera. So I'm so.
When was I here? I wasn't here.
You might have been blacked out. I don't know, but I used up the last of my Levenshire on stream. So
Well, I was.
I'm
Yeah,
out.
you were wasted.
I'm out. I'm sober. Sadly, I got nothing on. Nothing
Yes,
to drink.
very much so out of their depth.
Yes, the people at Twitter are completely out of their depth because it's like, holy shit, Trump is such an
I
anomaly.
miss Dave
Internet-
naked, and that's really upsetting to me. I want to see some Dave.
Still on YouTube.
I have
wanna see
not
some
been
Dave.
naked.
Still on YouTube.
Fuck, like, you haven't. I know you have. I saw. Elb sent me some shit. Well, she didn't, but I'm seriously, you've been naked.
That was not
Richard, they are
nudity.
very much out
That
of their
wasn't.
depth.
That wasn't nakedness. That was shirtlessness. Big
I
difference.
wanted to see some burnt nipples, and I missed it out because I was too fucking hammered, and I just
Alcohol
died.
Scone?
What's
Scone?
scone is that?
Scones. Scones is a delicious fucking treat that you have in. It's like made of like bread and sugar. It's a scone.
Scones are biscuits that are American biscuits that are more sweet.
Yeah.
That's what scones are. They're literally
America doesn't have
biscuits.
biscuits. We don't even know what that fucking is.
Yes,
We
you
just-
do. You have don't you lie to me. You have biscuits and
No.
gravy. Don't you lie to me, Tim. You
Well,
guys have biscuits and gravy. It's
but it's not-
literally
it's
it
not
is lit- it's no it is literally the same. You actually make it the same way, but it's a slightly more sweet. Instead of using like lard, you'll have
No,
cream
it's less
and
sweet. Like it's just
No,
bread. It's like a fucking.
They are the same. They're
It's
divergent.
toast.
They are divergent evolution.
How the
of,
fuck did you get
of
onto Tim's
hardtack.
cooking adventures?
We've talked about biscuits and gravy before on stream, long while back. But
So
he
good,
mentioned
so
scones,
good.
and I just say they're like
Scones
American
aren't gravy biscuits. That can't be a thing.
They
It can't be a thing.
actually are almost identical. They are almost
Yes,
identical.
so John Apocalypse.
I'm gonna
John
come to
Pod-
Australia and
Apocalypse
fight about
says,
this.
We take Canadian bacon.
I'll do a
we put
cooking
ham,
stream, and
That's
I'll
the
prove it.
American way. The difference
No,
between
Canadian
bacon and
bacon is
ham is the
disgusting.
area of the pig it comes
It's
from,
ham.
and the
It's
amount of
fucking
time
ham.
it's cured for.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hate on Canada for doing their ham the way they do. But
American
it's just not
bacon is
good.
superior. I'm absolutely
Yes,
convinced.
it is.
Yep.
Shortcuts is what we
Streaky
call American bacon.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, no, streaky bacon, yeah.
We call it streaky bacon here, but which is American bacon. Yeah, yeah, I love it. Love it. Rendering down.
Back when I was younger, all you could get was middle bacon. Now
Oh,
you can
yeah.
get streaky bacon, you can get shortcuts.
Back when I were a lad.
You can still get
Yeah.
middle bacon.
We inherited all that nonsense from the British. It's like, but to be fair, at least we didn't get Canadian bacon. I'll take middle bacon. I'll take
Magical
like the
animal.
wide part.
I mean, Canadian bacon's really not bad if you have to eat it, but it's not American bacon. I'll eat Canadian bacon all
American
day long.
bacon is
Like,
superior. I've got some streaky
Yeah.
bacon in the fridge.
That's not. Why do you call it that? That's not.
That's what it's
I don't
marked.
understand why.
You have an opportunity to simp now, Tim. So Brittany
With who?
Venti has
Oh, Brittany?
Nah,
Nah, I'm not
Streaky
a big
bacon.
Brittany
This
simp
is
fan.
we call it streaky bacon. You guys would just call it bacon. But
Yes.
it is the streaky bacon.
Well, I've been distracted by simping for Brittany, which I don't know why I would, but
Yeah. Anyway.
is she showing her tits? What's going on? I'm confused.
So this she's
Brittany has an
she's
OnlyFans, I
reposting a
think.
lot of your Roth's tweets.
Yeah. If you want to see
She's
her
got
nudes,
her-
they're
she
very
Here
got
he's
her high
saying that
points.
the Jews have the old media, the gays have the new media.
They're the same fucking me. All right, I'm sorry.
So, oh yes, and of course his PhD thesis argues for a reduction in.
Yeah, pedo. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a.
Give me that wood chipper, baby. Chipperoo.
So, anyway, so yes, this is a journalist. We're still on sort of Twitter stuff. Once I get to the Twitter stuff, we'll cut over to kill the YouTube feed and we'll jump over to Rumble. But
Are we on Rumble now?
no, well we are. We're on
We have to
Rumble.
shut
We're on
off
Odyssey.
YouTube.
We're on YouTube. But for everybody new, we're so for the chat. What we usually do is after the first story, which usually takes an hour, it doesn't normally take 2.5 hours. But I kill the feed to YouTube and we continue over on Rumble. The link is in the description if you want to head over to there
ruining
now.
our situation?
Yeah,
Thepretream.com.
yeah, or you can just go to thepretream.com, which will send you
Oh
to
shit, we
all
got a
our channels.
website? Download's got a
Yes, we have a
website.
link tree.
Check
on
out the
that
website.
URL.
Yeah.
It's not strictly a
OnlyFans,
website. It's just
Twitter, Instagram.
Tim's
big
OnlyFans
titties.
is there as well.
Yeah. It's
So yes,
redirection
Elon Musk.
to
This is a
Dave
person who
shaking
doesn't
about.
understand what an NDA is. So Elon Musk is threatening to sue Twitter employees who leak confidential information to the press.
Yeah,
He's
so-
asking staffers to sign a pledge indicating they've understood.
That's the
Here's
terms
the
and
email.
conditions of your employment. I'm bound by something like that too.
Yes.
I can't leak customer info to the fucking press. What are you talking about?
It's
Shit,
about
wait till
yeah.
you lose.
That's
Wait till
close.
you
To,
lose.
it's
He's gonna
Balenciaga.
be
Yes,
fucking
Actually, you got the
free.
spelling right, John. That's great.
that is the
He's gonna
spelling.
tear it up.
Yeah.
He's gonna be fucking free. He's gonna be a
Yes,
wild
that's a
fucking
standard
animal.
fucking
Let him
NDA. I
loose.
don't
Let him
understand
loose.
how people don't get this,
Let him loose.
especially journalists who would probably have had to sign
He's
an
gonna make
NDA.
some toast and just ruin the
As
entire
evidenced
world.
by the many leaked details leaked of confidential Twitter information, a few people at our company continue to act in a manner contrary to the company's interests and in violation of their NDA. This will be said only once. If you clearly and deliberately violate the NDA that you signed when you join, you accept liability to the full extent of the law, and Twitter will immediately seek damages.
Contract, baby.
Musk says occasional slip-ups are understandable, but, quote, breaking your word by sending detailed info to the media with the intent to harm Twitter will receive the response it deserves. Employees have by 5 p.m. today to respond. I'm choosing not to post the actual email as it's clear Twitter is doing everything it can to catch sources.
Well, Zoe, if we found you, Elon's going to find you.
So I'm choosing. So if you're a tech worker, consider sharing information with the media. You have rights. The Tech Workers Handbook is a good place to start. And note that all conversations with me and Casey can begin completely off the record.
You're still violating an NDA.
Yes, sunlight is the best disinfectant. So the
not for the Democrats.
Well, yeah.
I'm currently under 56 active NDAs.
What?
With the
What?
government?
Hang on. I think this needs to
Hens love roosters, geese love ganders, everyone else loves Ned Flanders.
Not me.
Everyone who counts loves Ned Flanders.
You were saying?
You were saying that.
Well, unfortunately, I can't say too much about it because they're
or
NDAs.
which one?
There's multiple different companies, mostly
56 of them.
Mostly pharmaceuticals and medical procedural.
That makes sense.
Stuff, as well as the U.S. military. So that's as far as I'm essentially allowed to say.
Makes sense. I figured it might have been something like that.
Meanwhile, the White House is waiting. They've said that the releasing the Twitter files on how Hunter Biden's story was censored is not healthy. So,
Are we on Rumble yet?
Yeah.
Did we swap over to Rumble?
No, we're still on.
Oh, that's right.
Still
We're
on
still
the
talking about
YouTubes.
Twitter. No, yep, all good. All
Yeah,
good.
still talking about Twitter.
Yep.
There was talk about deleting the Wikipedia article.
I saw that
on
the
Twitter files.
Noteworthy. It's not noteworthy.
It was not deleted. It will not be deleted. They came to the conclusion. They had a long discussion, very long discussion.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, you can see the Twitter discussion.
There's very much a back and forwards.
Yeah.
Like that's
a pretty big one.
That's a pretty big discussion. So and their decision was to leave it intact, and yeah, it's no longer marked for deletion.
Yeah.
Another thing that I'm sure has absolutely nothing to do with anything, apropos of absolutely nothing, that Fauci's daughter worked for Twitter during the pandemic.
Oh, that's
she hot though? Like, can we get a picture of Fauci's daughter? Like, how she
did John Podesta's niece or whatever.
And yes, John
What's her
Podesta's niece works at Twitter in
God.
Sydney. In Sydney, of all places.
Yeah.
Sydney, Australia land?
Sydney, Australia.
Yes, Australia land. Yeah, Thermo City. Thermo
down
City.
here in Australia.
In South Australia. I'm sorry. I'm not
we're
gonna
not
do it.
down
It's been 2 weeks.
South
I can't do it twice in a week. I can't do it 2 weeks in a row. I gotta wait at least a little bit.
But yeah, apparently a heap of people connected to these high-profile people
Hey,
were working at Twitter.
I have a question. It's not relevant at all, but I have a question.
No. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know who David Lomas is?
No.
No.
Should I?
He's an Australian person. Never mind. Okay, if you don't
there's-
know who he is, doesn't
You
matter.
know there's 27 million of us, right? I mean, just because we all know each other here.
No, he presents.
I know I
himself
make
as
the
like
I know
a
I make the frequent joke.
He
that
presents
Australia's
himself
not real
as a
and-
mildly famous Australian, and I'm like, who the fuck are you?
I've
Never heard
I don't know who he is.
Can you spell his last name for me?
Lomas.
No, he's British and was. He's British. And
He
if
doesn't
anything,
act British.
I'm just going by the top Google search. All the stories I'm seeing from him come from New Zealand, so I don't think he's Australian.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. He wears black all the time, and I'm like, why does this man wear black all the time?
Is this the guy who does like the Lost and Found
with families
documentaries and stuff? And,
yeah.
No, okay, no, he's Kiwi. He's Kiwi.
He's a Kiwi.
He's a Kiwi.
Oh,
Can't believe you got us.
I'm sorry. I'm
confused, eh?
sorry I brought that upon you. He's just
That's
filthy
terrible.
fucking Kiwi.
Yeah, I disown.
I'm sorry.
I've very publicly disowned New Zealand a couple of times.
You know, I should have been kicked for a lot of things, but if you want to kick me for that, it's fine.
It's a common misconception.
No,
to be fair,
I knew I knew there was New Zealand shit, but he sounded very Australian.
Some Kiwis don't have a very strong accent. It's actually very close to Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's easy to get confused.
I just want to know why he wore black
face,
all the time.
Prime Minister,
He's
the
like
the one who's turning into Smeagol.
Yeah, the Smeagol chick.
Yeah,
Coke
the
addict.
Smeagol chick.
The coke.
Is she New Zealand?
Is America's look
Of course we do.
I
You
notice all the
fucking.
time. They're so cute. Yes.
Of course we do.
Thanks, Doc.
It's okay.
Why
This
fuck
Australian
wouldn't
looks
we?
down on you too.
Come on, man. Come
Need
on.
to get rid of her.
So yes, that's the
Come
Twitter
on.
files. Well, I guess 2, 3, and 4. Holy shit!
Australians.
No wonder my mouth is dry.
The coolest car they ever
So
had.
yes,
was
we're
built from
gonna
American
end
parts.
on YouTube now because that's the first story done. So thank you for joining us. If you are going to follow us to Rumble, which I encourage you to do, I encourage you to follow
Get
us
a
to Rumble
gyrocopter
or Odyssey, where if you
It'll
go
get you
to
there.
theprestream.com,
with a gyrocopter.
that will take you to our link tree, and it has all the links there. But yes,
Single person.
So we're gonna end the stream on YouTube. We're gonna go over to Rumble. So
You just wheel that shit, and you're in a
in
gyrocopter.
the description
is
is the link to Rumble. If you just scroll down and go there. If you don't want to go to Rumble, that's fine. I understand completely. Thank you for watching. Yeah, we do this every week. Not this specifically, but this show. And yeah, we'll be back next week. I'm thinking of doing a call-in show next week. So if you are interested,
that'd be fun. Can I call in?
Unless there is a fucking ginormous amount of news that is just impossible to cover in 7, 8 hours.
Is that
New show
legal?
format.
So I think we might do a call-in show. Yeah.
Like, I want to know, if I call in, is it not legal? Is it not okay? Like, you would be like, stop, you fucking
Dude,
asshole.
this is the call-in show for you.
Yeah.
Well.
Let's be real.
No, yeah. So we'll do a call-in show. We'll do a call-in show next week.
Okay.
So yes, if you guys want
it'd be a lot of fun.
to tune in for
What
that
if Dave
next
and me
week.
both call in?
But yes, thank you YouTube viewers for watching. Link to
the
Rumble in the
same
description. We'll see you over there. And yeah, bye for now.
Have a good night.